What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. It is Monday, July 27th, 2026, year of our Lord. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? Yeah. Oh, man, we got a show for y'all today. we, we, we got a show for y'all today. What's going on? Good morning. Thank you, Sabrina. Pint for pint. Everybody in the chat. AR is back. What up? What up to the people that's here for the first time? People that's coming for the next time. And everybody getting that money. What's going on, friends? Hey, shout out to everybody. I hope everybody made it home well. What up, Fi? What up, your car? What up, Mimi? What up, Mimi? Somebody said, Mac Brooks says, what's going on? What up? And how was the meetup? Ask the people in the chat. I thought it went. You hear my voice, right? I was trying to prepare. I was trying not to talk too loud. Music was pumping. The weather was good. The rooftop was rooftopping. The drinks was drinking. The ladies looked good. The fellas showed up. It was a good time. Mimi party. Shout out to Osriel. Shout out to our streets. Yeah, what up? Hey, shout out to everybody that flew into DC, man. Shout out to everybody that flew into DC and said, what up? Kay Cooper, I see you. Shout out to the beautiful ladies, man. All of y'all. Shout out to Nikki. Shout out to everybody, man. It was a good time. It was an incredible time. And then, what up, Keisha? And then I go to the airport yesterday, in which honestly I'm really just now getting back. My suitcase is over there. I pull up in the airport. I'm like, man, I gotta try to catch this flight. What's up, Billy Ray? Oh man, I ain't even gonna talk about Billy Ray. I'm not. Hey yo, I'm not gonna talk about Billy Ray Valentine. I will tell you she's gorgeous. Super fit, gorgeous, love dancing. What up? Yeah, what up, Jody? What up, Jody? And then they tried to keep me out past 3 o'clock. They tried to, Anton, pull up to the cigar bar. I said, all right, I'm going to pull up afterwards, go to the cigar bar. Cigar bar. Nah, Billy Ray. Nah, no. What up, Dainty? What up? I don't know how y'all don't want to come and meet these girls in real life. I don't know how y'all don't want to come and meet these girls in real life. Billy Ray Valentine. Billy Ray. What up, A Dunn? A Dunn pulled up. Yeah. What up, Elizabeth? What's up to everybody? If y'all haven't come and kicked it with me in person, you should. I'm gorgeous. I smell good. I'm gorgeous. All of that. All of that. And so is everybody else that was there. So everybody that came through, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We got a plan for what up, OG? What up, DJ Ace Productions? Walk on Wood, I see you. Shout out to my dog, Q Executive Suite, Emily. Hit me off with the cigars. That dude is always fresh. Fresh to death. And we had a good time, man. We had a really, really good time, bro. So yeah, it was awesome. If I didn't see you in DC, I'm expecting to see you in September in Dallas. I don't know where we gonna do it in Dallas yet, but we gotta do it. We gonna do it in Dallas. I'm gonna see y'all again in Dallas. We also planning for our ski trip. Shout out to my dog Spaces. What up, Spaces? Scony. Yeah. What up, though? Yeah, man. Lots going on. So, do I have a hangover? No, I don't have a hangover. My voice is just, a little bit hoarse. As I was hanging up, I smell way better than cocoa butter. See, she's trying to make me smile. She's trying to keep me smiling all night. That's all right. It was nice meeting you. Definitely. It was better meeting y'all. It was better meeting y'all. And Mimi, my girl Mimi. Let me say something about Mimi. Mimi is my girl. That's my home girl. That's my girl. We had some conversations. I ain't telling y'all about what we talked about. Not only did we talk that night, but then the next morning, me and Mimi, we was in the Delta Lounge. We was in the Delta Lounge, and we chilling, and we having a conversation. And so it's a lot of things that we talked about. I can't really talk about it. I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. But I have a newfound love and affinity for Mimi. Mimi might just be all close. She's close to the top of my list. She's close to the top of my list. What's up, Shantae? What's up, Shantae? Yeah. Me and Mimi, we got plans. We got big plans together. I got plans with everybody that's kicking it with me, that's holding me down. All right. So listen, we got a show for y'all today, and we gonna talk more about that later. We gonna talk about the meetup a little later. All right, but we got a full show for y'all today, a full week for y'all today. I love you too, Mimi. I love you too. We got a full show for y'all today. We back in the mix. So we in the second half of the year, and we gotta hit it, y'all. We gotta hit it. No more misses, no more off days, no none of that stuff. Anton, I'm still crying about the trans video you dropped. What up, Purpose? You got bigger plans for me? All right, bet. I see you in Detroit shortly. Yeah, we talked about that too. That's all right. Let me read some of the. You know what? Before I read super chats, let's do a start off video. No, let's do super chats first. We're gonna do super chats first. All right. I'm gonna tell y'all we got a heck of a show for y'all today, and it's gonna center around race. And we're going to probably have some uncomfortable conversations. Yes, y'all did shut down the cigar bar. Is my voice okay? Yeah, my voice is. A lot of people think that my voice, like that, I'm sick. No, it's that I talk too much, and I was at the meetup yelling. I heard some of y'all missed y'all flights because y'all couldn't get up in the morning. I heard some of y'all missed y'all flights because y'all couldn't get up in the morning. Shout out to Will. I appreciate you, Will. Thank you for holding me down on Cash App. My dog, Mike that dude. What up, Mike that dude? I love you, bro. I love you, bro. And Spencer Campbell, I love you too, says good morning, AD and the Chasers. Let me say this before we get started with the show. Best time to join the Patreon is now, because I'm about to drop the dates today for Dallas. So y'all will be able to effectively plan. All right? I don't want nobody coming to me talking about, Anton, what's the date? The dates is going to be in the Patreon. The dates are going to be in the Patreon, all right? I'll give y'all venue information a little closer to the dates because I got to make sure that it ain't no dusties. And funny thing is, the people, shout out to Fi, shout out to everybody. They so protective over me. They don't be wanting to let me go nowhere. And I be trying to tell them, I said, listen, this is a different type of crowd. This ain't that normal crowd. I didn't even bring security to this event. I didn't even bring security to this one. And the reason I didn't bring security is because I didn't feel like I needed to. Because it'd be such good vibes. Illusionist says, enjoyed the meetup, family, and I appreciate the compliment for the glasses. What up, Illusionist? My dog Space is in the... Let me give a round of applause for Space. The time was indeed had. Such a fun time putting names to faces. Met a whole bunch of people, and I hope to see more people in Dallas. I'm already ready. Shout out to my dog Spaces. Rod Jones says, pleasure meeting you at the meetup, big dog. Hey, man, you know it's all love. Shout out to my dog, Rod Jones. T-Bunny says, the meetup was amazing. Love seeing you, AD. Beautiful people and wonderful energy. What up, T? What up, T? What up, T? All right, listen, we don't want to keep making the people jealous. You in Dallas, Purpose? All right, well, then I'm expecting to see you. I'm expecting to see you. And let me just say this before we get started with the show. Shout out to everybody that I ran into in the streets. Meaning that, yo, I was walking around all throughout Washington, D.C. Man, D.C. want me to move there. People keep asking me, Anton, you gonna move to D.C.? Anton, D.C. Chocolate City said, Anton, why don't you come and pull up? It's a nice place to be. It's a nice place to live. I said, I can't move from Detroit. I can't move from Detroit. How am I going to move from Detroit? They said, Anton, you should come to D.C. They said I should get a second home there. No lie, no kidding. It was like, you need to get a second home here. You need to do something here because we like you here. Man, listen, I have never been ran up on by so many people that didn't look like me. It was so many white, European, Indian couples. I had an Asian couple come up to me when we was in the Louis Vuitton store. That's a whole nother conversation. You know, I don't want y'all feeling some type of way about it. Yeah, man, I had an Asian couple come up to me. I said, what's happening? What's going on? I didn't know how to take it. I said, y'all love me this bad? Y'all showing me love like this in D.C.? What? Don't get me started, man. Showing me all of this love. What's wrong with y'all? Oh, I need to change my quote, don't I? Hold on, let me change my quote. They love me in D.C., bro. They love me in D.C. They love me in D.C., bro. They do, man. I don't know what's going on, bro. Oh, there go my girlfriend. Says, good morning. I am her. Yo, I spend so much time talking to her, talking to Nikki. Oh, y'all know where it's just a brown girl in America. Let me say that. I spend so much time talking to Jess. Says I missed my flight also. Thanks, Mimi. Yo, she's so good looking and smells so good. Man, listen, bro. 3L says I make 45 years on February 11th, bro. Ski trip sound good. Yeah, let's run it up here. We were looking for the man in the hat. Shout out to my dog. AR is back. What up, Messi? Hey, Messi pulled up. Hey, hold on. before I even get into my show, Messi pulled up on me and said, "What's up, Anton?" And we hugged for about 30 seconds. It felt like. Why do women smell so good? Messi had like some pheromones. Something. Is that what you call them? Pheromones? You know how when somebody say, when you smell somebody and it's like, oh my God, you smell good, your hair smell good, all of that. What's up, Messi? I said, what? I said, what? Shout out to EMT. I love you too, bro. Man, I said, this girl smells so good. While I was drunk, a little blame five made at home. I said, Messi smells so good. What up, Messi Michonne? That's my girlfriend right there. That's my work wife. Just Christian Black. What up, big dog? I appreciate you. ABJ says we have fun in DC. You hear me? Great to meet all of my people there and connect. What's great and can't wait for Dallas. Become a chaser today. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Knox Economics says the meetup was a great vibe, was fantastic. Still looking forward to the black hat, but we patient though. But see, I had to tell the people in person what was going on. You have security even when you don't have security. Shout out to my dog Spaces. King DJ Trick says, lost my grandmother today. 1:45 a.m. Stayed the whole day with her through the process. Been a long day. Take care, family. Take care, family. Y'all family come. Hey, man, hold on. First of all, prayers up for you, fam. Prayers up for your family. I'm sorry for your loss. Hopefully, your grandmother lived a long, fruitful life and that she passed with no regrets and in peace, bro. We love you, bro. You still got more family over here, King DJ Tricks. Remember that. All right? Remember that. Let's get into it. I want a deep dive today. All right? I want a deep dive. Oh, brother. Let me get this right. I want a deep dive today. And the reason why I want a deep dive, and this entire live stream is inspired by Ryan Clark. It's inspired by Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is recently the fired ESPN analyst. And so we're going to get to that video a little bit later today. But I want to play this and we're going to get into it and then we're going to talk about it.
So there's this like weird type of racism in the Midwest, if you're moving up to the Midwest, where like the white people don't have enough balls to like be overtly racist. So what they do is like they talk to you with this level of sarcasm as if you don't understand that they're being rude, right? They talk to you with this certain level of like just coldness and sarcasm, like you're a dummy. And it's like they think they're talking over your head. And then when you call it out, they get shocked. So like, for example, I went to this auto body shop, right? It's called Gary's Automotive. And he was like, yeah, your compressor, I need a new compressor. It's gonna be $500. I was like, I looked online and I can't even find a compressor for my vehicle that's that high. And he's like, oh, you're probably getting that stuff that's made in China. Yeah, we don't put that stuff in your car. And I was like, okay, so what's the name of the brand of compressor you'll be putting in my car? And so I look at the screen and he turns the screen and he's like, it's loading right now. It's loading right now. This is top secret. This is a private screen. Mind you, most mechanics will show you their screen. Like when you go to any auto store, they'll show you their screen. So I was like, okay, whatever. So he's like, read me off your license plate again. So I read it off and like, let's say it's like the letter X. He was like, so what you are saying is X, right? Like just making it seem like I'm speaking a whole different language. And I was like, you know what, sir? You're so hostile that I think I'm just gonna leave and find another place to service my vehicle. And like, it's crazy because sometimes these people forget that we can get up and leave and go to another business. Like they just be getting so shocked. He was like, wait, hold on. I understand that, blah, 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 blah. I just left, man. But yeah, take your dollar where they respect you.
I want to replay the beginning of the video so that y'all will understand exactly why I'm about to say what I'm about to say.
So there's this like weird type of racism in the Midwest. If you moving up to the Midwest, where like the white people don't have enough balls to like be overtly racist.
Okay, there we go. Good enough. Good enough. We're going to have a very uncomfortable conversation because Anton is no stranger to tackling topics that other people try to shy away from due to the fact that they are trying to maintain their political standing. All right. I had a conversation with a young group of people on the rooftop in DC. These particular group of young people, it was one, two, three, four, five young people, but I had a specific conversation with two, and it just so happened to be a couple. There's a black guy with the braids, and honest to God, some of y'all know, y'all see me on the rooftop talking to him, similar to this right here. His hair looked just like this. And the girl was earthy too, and they were young. They couldn't have been any more than 22, 23, 24 years old, right? And so, we were all talking and enjoying one another, and I met several liberal people in the city and stuff like that. But they could appreciate my honesty, even if they don't necessarily agree with everything that I say. However, I'm having conversations with this young man and his girlfriend. And again, remember, they're in their early to mid 20s, and they talk just like him. And the quote that I have at the bottom of the screen, it says, racism is a grown-up disease. Stop using children to spread it. Racism is a grown-up disease. Stop using children to spread it. And similar to what this young man is saying right here in the video, because they were trying to convince me, a 44-year-old man that was born, raised, and live in Detroit, the largest black major city in America. They were trying to convince me racism and microaggressions and all of these things are holding them back from being whatever it is that they wanted to be. And they had to overcome. We shall overcome. And so I made it my business to have a conversation and entertain them in these racist conversations. And similar to this young man on the screen, I asked them to give me an example of something that they can actually use to say that they have been racist against in society and in our culture. And every time that they started to go down a path, they had to stop and say, well, I mean, you would have to assume that it's going to be race-based, right? And I said, no. And then they hit me with the typical talking point of, well, what if you have two candidates exactly the same, word for word, exactly the same resume? And one of them gets hired because he's white and the other one gets hired because he's black. Or one of them gets hired. And then I said, well, first of all, that's not realistic because nobody has the exact same qualifications as the next person. But more importantly, there's other factors that go into the interview process, right? One of which is, are you a likable person? The other is, do you relate to the people that's inside of the facility and the institution? Because it's always more difficult to deal with a whistleblower or a person that always feels like everything is racist against them. And we went through example after example, and they couldn't give me anything. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. You a victim. You a fake victim. You running in the Victim Olympics. And he said, oh, he had never heard that before because he was new. I said, you're running in the Victim Olympics. Nothing that you say or what you're telling me, you can translate into being racist. And then I said the really uncomfortable thing out loud. And I said, and you have a much greater chance of having somebody offend you that looks like you than somebody that doesn't. And that right there It bothered him. When I said that, I seen him start to clutch his pearls, and I seen him start to get up. And you know what the interesting thing about that is? I don't care. Not even a little bit. I don't care if people get bothered. I don't care if people don't like my talking point. I don't care if people think that, oh man, you need to make sure that you appease and pander to and cater to black people in the black community. And I say, I don't pander to anybody. And the only thing that I bow my head down to is the truth. And the fact of the matter is, and this is not singular to only black people, this is across the board. You have a much greater chance of suffering and dying and getting hurt by somebody that looks like you, whether you white or Hispanic or Asian or any other nationality. You have a greater chance of being offed and hurt by somebody that looks like you than somebody that doesn't. And so what I'm trying to understand is, why are people so concerned with racism? And similar to what this young man is saying right here, when did you actually experience racism? Because I have this sneaking suspicion that has been taught to you. I don't believe that most people that say that they have experienced racism have experienced racism. I believe that most of what you guys complain about and whine about and take issue with is all taught to you by people in the culture, your parents, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, your homeboys, your hood, and now social media. And it's been pressed down in you and runneth over. And it limits your opportunities, and people don't even understand that. What they don't understand, the worst thing about life, you know what the worst thing about life is? Is that you don't even know what you missed out on. And that's the thing that keeps you dumb. That's the thing that keeps you hateful. That's the thing that keeps you hating white people or white people hating black people, is that you don't know what you're missing. Because we don't get the Adam Sandler remote. We don't get the click remote. So you can't go into different timelines like you in the TVA. You're not Thanos. You're not Ant-Man. You can't go into different timelines and continue to try to figure out what your life would have been so that you can make a more informed decision on what you missed out on. Unfortunately for you, life is not a video game, and you don't get to respawn and play different roles to try to figure out what made sense and what didn't make sense. So your ignorance then becomes your undoing, because you're so busy focused on what you think other people think about you that you're not able to actually experience the greatness that comes along with the people that value you. Let's say hypothetically that there was this racist group in Arkansas in the Ozarks that just so happened to be building their own community and distancing themselves from anybody that's not like them. Because I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist. Of course, I'm not saying that. I think that racism exists everywhere, including amongst our own very people. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist. I'm saying, where does it then impact you overtly to where it prevents you from being whatever it is and doing whatever you want to do? Because I'll give you another uncomfortable truth. It's not a crime to actually not like people. It's not a crime for you to go into a shop and the customer is not always right. It's not a crime for people to not want to hire you because you a dick. And regardless of what your resume says, they don't want to work with you because you are always going to be a victim And nobody wants to work around victims all the time. Nobody wants to hear your issues. Nobody cares about how you feel. They only want to be around people that they like. It's some bad chicks out here. And you run into them every day. And sometimes they can open up their mouth and they can go from a 9 to a 5. And I'm not talking about the job that you work. And it doesn't matter how pretty they are. It doesn't matter how nice their teeth is. It doesn't matter about whether or not they got a BBL or not. What matters in that moment is that I don't like your attitude and you are not a pleasant person to be around. Sometimes, probably more often than not, it's the fact that you are a-hole. You are an a-hole. And everybody don't want to be around you. Everybody not interested in entertaining you. And so instead of us being taking ownership of our situation and saying, man, are we difficult to work with? When I went into this shop, am I a know-it-all? If I knew better, then why would I be going into the shop in the first place? Because I'm going to tell you, I've dealt with people. You know the funniest thing to me, and the only reason that I think is cool. I've done coaching calls where people pay me good money to tell me that they don't want to hear what I gotta say. And I say, okay. I mean, it's your dime, it's your dollar. That's like me going into an attorney's office and him telling me the law. I'm hiring him. I'm paying him whatever his rate is. $500 an hour, $750 an hour, whatever. And he's like, yo, this is the best way for you to do your defense, for you to get off. And I say, nah. He said, listen, you want to take the plea deal and you want to do 6 months probation, or you want to take the risk and do 5 years in prison? And I say, nah, man, I'm taking the risk. And he said, but listen, you're going to be free. And I refuse to hear him and take his advice. Even though he's the expert, you go into the doctor and they say, hey, listen, you got all of these tumors growing on you and it's a possibility that you probably have cancer. You probably want to go and get this checked out. And I say, man, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, but I'm dying of cancer. And that's how I look at people that I coach when they finances. Or somebody, let me tell you what else I experience a lot. Somebody come to me, they're a content creator, and they say, man, listen, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck at 1,000. I'm stuck this. I'm stuck this. What should I do? And then I give them some insight, and I say, listen, I looked at what you got going on. I hear what you say. I already see a problem immediately. This is what you need to do differently. And then they come back to me and they say, listen, but you don't get me. And I'm looking at them like the fool that they are. But you don't get me. You don't understand what I'm trying to do. And then I tell them, after like 2 butts, and then I tell them, I said, I don't really care about what you're trying to do. I'm looking at this from the lens of the user. And people don't want to hear about how you feel. They want to hear A, B, C, and D. And this is how you grow your platform. And this is how you be successful. But man, so why you asking me my opinion? I only do 100 million views a month. What'd you do last month? 210 views? You did 210 views? Okay. Real talk. I mean, listen, but in addition to the love, in addition to the hugs, in addition to all of the different stuff that we was doing I was giving free coaching calls. People was they said, let me take advantage of him. Let me pull him to the side, get some free coaching calls. Some of y'all left uncomfortable. some, some of y'all left uncomfortable. Some people came up to me and said, hey man, I need your advice on this. And after about 5 minutes of talking, 10 minutes go by, it was like, him downstairs. I said, now go ahead and get you some drinks, drink up, have a good time, straighten up your attitude, and let's go party with everybody else now. Ah! All right, now that you got this uncomfortable advice, now straighten your face up and let's go party. You asked me the question. I didn't ask you. You asked me the question. I'm going to tell you the truth. And you know what the truth is? I've been living in the Midwest my entire life. And I done traveled to all of the states, most of the cities, all around this joint. And I haven't really experienced any racism. And so now, because you didn't get the advice that you wanted, or maybe he didn't want to work on your car or whatever. It doesn't mean that people cannot like you. It don't mean that they don't like black people. People can choose not to do business with you. It doesn't mean that they don't like black people. Everything isn't racist. Everything isn't racist. Why are people so obsessed with racism? I cannot figure it out to save my life. Why do y'all want to be racist against so bad? People make this their whole identity. I think that they be lying. They be embellishing too. You walking around with your gold jewelry on, with your neck out, talking about racism. Bruh, do you know what racism really look like? If you really experience racism, it wouldn't even be calling you out of your name. If you go back and you read history, nobody even cared about when somebody called somebody out of their name. They cared about whether you did something to them. That wasn't even considered racist, being called out of your name. That's just being offensive. Being racist is doing something to somebody. I thought that that's what that was. I thought being racist was an action word. Real talk. I didn't know that you can say something to me and then I felt like I was being racist against. I thought that that was an action word. Because whatever you call me, I can call you back. And then what? And I'm still richer than you. I'm just saying. What is going on? What is up with the Victim Olympics? And I have never seen more feminine black men acting like white women and worrying about whether or not somebody else, oh man, they didn't hire me because of my hair. Well, your hair looks bad for corporate America. I'm sorry to say. Man, they want me to cut off my beard. Well, that's generally what happens when you get hired into the plant because they have to do a respirator test. They should just accept me looking like, what's my man's name? What did Denzel, some Esquire? They should just accept me looking like something Esquire. I should be able to look like Cornell West. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Black people be looking at you like, man, look at this fool. You look dirty. You smell dirty. Your hair is toe up. You look unkept. And so you want to try to make it a racist thing. This ain't got, yeah, Israel J. Esquire. Y'all be jumping out there looking crazy. Is somebody just supposed to hire you? Got every piercing in the world in your face and you want to be a front-facing person for the company. Why ain't I getting promoted? Because you look stupid. You look crazy. You look like Marilyn Manson. We got to have some etiquette classes. We have to have some classes on what you're supposed to look like when you go outside every day. Roman J. Israel, Esquire, looking crazy. Make sure you guys said, oh, this is going to be that type of show today. I wish I had my full voice. I wish I can go full voice on y'all. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me go ahead and cook up. I'm going to get to some of these super chats, and we're going to jump right into the show. Shantae says, always a pleasure meeting you and the others at the meetup. I enjoyed everyone's presence. What up, Shantae? Q, Executive Suite MLE, one of the best dressed men I've ever seen in my life. Says, great seeing everyone. The weather was great and the breeze was flowing. The ladies look great, and we shut down a cigar lounge at the end of the night. Yeah. Man, if y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon, bro. Roscoe says the demand for racism far exceeds the supply. That should have been a quote. Neum says, AD, I want to come to a meetup, but I'm only 27. What do you mean? You only 27. You grown. My girl, 24. We feel like we need to come when we get more to bring to the table. Would you agree? I actually disagree. Because nobody is checking anybody's pocketbook to try to figure out how much money each other get. We all people, bro. Listen. At my meetups, it's a party. It's a celebration. It's a good time. It ain't nobody checking to see who got this, who got that. We trying to figure out how we can have a good time. It's good energy, bro. It's good energy. Yeah, you got to pull up, bro. You missing out on your blessings. Missing out on your blessings. All right, let's get full blown into the show. We're going to head over to Seattle. I know Seattle is my favorite punching bag, but tragedy struck in Seattle. 3 people was killed allegedly at a festival, and so we're going to get into that. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
A deadly mass shooting in Seattle near the iconic Space Needle. Gunfire was heard erupting at a popular summertime food festival that attracts thousands of families. It's a beloved event in that city. People seen running for cover and their lives.
Machine gun just went off. Oh my God. Get the heck out of here.
Investigators now say that 3 people are dead, 4 others were injured, including a 2-year-old child. And there is audio now of first responders in the middle of it all.
Anyone have a small child tourniquet size? Don't need a tourniquet? For a small child. Small child arm tourniquet.
Some of the terrified festival goers even seen taking cover, it seems, and trying to hide out in the gift shop of the Space Needle while this is happening. Witnesses also then described what happened, what they experienced.
I saw families, kids, everyone just like running out of the fair, and he had told me like just run, active shooter. Someone was yelling active shooter. I jumped the fence quickly and I ran. I just kept running.
So police, they now believe that 2 people were shooting at each other, innocent people enjoying the festival, caught in the middle of it. CNN's Julia Vargas Jones is live this morning at the scene in Seattle.
All right, can we profile this real quick, y'all? Y'all know that this is my favorite thing to do. Y'all know that this is my favorite thing to do is to profile. Now, first, let me preface this by saying that prayers up for the families and prayers up for the people over in the city. You deserve better. You deserve better. I don't want to address this until I address the fact that I never wish this on anybody, and we want everything good to happen to people. We don't like the idea that people are losing their lives, especially that goes out to a festival to go out to have a good time. We should not be dealing with this at all. We should not be dealing with this at all. Okay? We don't like it. We think it's horrific, and we going to pray for the family. But with that being said, we got a profile. Now, again, I am not familiar with this story. I have not gotten into this story, and so I have to I have to do my profiling so I can better understand. So now, this is going to be a little bit more complicated than a lot of people think. And let me tell you why. The reason that it's going to be a little bit more complicated is because we got some more context clues. Now, in a regular shooting, you can deduce who the suspects are based off of the environment. In this instance, we're in Seattle. So because we're in Seattle and there are black people in Seattle, it is a majority Caucasian city. All right? But it doesn't mean that there are not black people in Seattle. So in this instance, you have to first lean more white and other. More white and other because demographic says that this is more white and other than anything. And then you throw in the fact that it's a festival. Festival could mean a lot of different things, all right? It can mean large gathering, but it also could mean a traditional festival. Okay? So we're still leaning more white. Still leaning more white. Now, this is the caveat, and this is what makes it interesting. The type of shooting that it is what gives me pause. When I first seen this video, when I first seen this story, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, that's definitely white. Why? Because any mass shooting at a major event like a festival, you think, oh man, they coming in to kill people, right? Like a shooting, like a trans shooting at a school, or, oh my God, we want to kill everybody because we're stressed out. I'm like, oh man, that's definitely my white culture. But then they said something that kind of gave me a pause. And I said, wait a minute. This started as an argument. This was two people going back and forth with each other that couldn't control their attitude and their emotions. And so they started shooting at each other. I said, this is definitely YN energy. So I had to lean more towards black. I said, this is definitely YN energy. Festival, argument, shooting, strays, meaning that you probably can't aim and you willing to shoot into a crowd. Oh, no, listen. So, my FBI profiling skills, right? I am leaning more towards young, dumb, YN energy. That's what I'm going with for the win, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to go YN energy for the win. And the only thing that's swinging me this way is the fact that it was an argument. Multiple people were shot. Strays, kids. I'm going with YN energy under the age of 30. Probably a little bit more closer to under the age of 27. That's what I'm going with. So we're going to find out who the suspects are.
A lot of questions still of what really was happening there and who they are now searching for. What's the latest you're picking up, Julia?
And let me say this. The news today is kind of biased because they don't like to say what the race is. They don't say, yeah, we're looking for 2 white men walking down the street. We're looking for 2 Mexicans because now we've gotten too woke. We used to be able to do that in the 90s and the 2000s. We can't do that no more.
Well, Kay, they're still trying to piece together those very chaotic moments that turned this festival into that scene of violence. Behind me here, you can see some of the stalls. People are just allowed, just now, moments before we came on air, to come in to start cleaning up because as of now, it's like the scene was frozen in time. You know, the shooting was yesterday at 6 p.m. and it's been untouched since. That's when people first heard those pop, pop, pop that some said to some of our affiliates that they thought were fireworks at first. And I think we have some new video that shows those very first moments, Kate, that I want to play for our viewers, where you see people running and taking cover wherever they can to try to avoid it as they're starting to realize that there's something deeply wrong here.
Everyone, make sure you guys subscribe. Help me get to 100,000. I'm like 2,000 subscribers away. That is literally one viral video.
Yo, y'all literally have the survival instincts. Of a chicken. Y'all got, I heard the shots in the video. Y'all have the survival instincts of a chicken.
And 200K, I'll get that plaque that says 100K. Shooting, oh shit.
Shooting, oh shoot. Look at everybody still walking around just looking regular. Check it out.
It's literally one viral video. And 200K, I'll get that plaque that says 100K. Shooting, oh shit.
Look at the survival instincts of these people. These people are absolutely insane. Yeah, hey, listen. Shooting. Let's just stand there and look for it and see and see who he is. We need to identify him. Oh my God.
Oh shit, right here. Get down, get down, get down, get down. Yeah, just get down. Oh, it's right there.
Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. And then the dude is just looking at him like this.
Oh shit. Get the register and the tips.
And just it goes to show, Kate, just how confusing that situation was. Police saying now that those 2 people were shooting at each other. They have 1 person in custody, still looking for that second one. What we are hearing now from authorities is that we can expect today possibly an initial appearance for that person who is in custody. That isn't quite a charging hearing at this time. This will be just initial information presented to a judge, and authorities still have about 72 hours to decide how they will charge this first person and continue with that manhunt, Kate.
Right, and 3 people dead. Is there an update on what we know about the others injured, including that child?
Yeah, we did have an update overnight. Basically, we had initial reports of 2 people that were dead from this incident, and overnight, a 3rd person who had been taken to hospital as part of those injured with a wound from a bullet. That person also passed away, Kate, adding to that death toll that we're seeing there. So now 3 people dead, others injured, and that 2-year-old child. Is just so heartbreaking to hear those first responders trying to find the right size tourniquet for that child. Just the pain that that family must be going through. Heartbreaking.
Let's get some analysis now from an expert. Richard Coco is a retired FBI supervisory special agent. He joins me. Richard, it's always good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Polo.
So, Richard, you've been listening closely to what authorities are saying about this. We heard from Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis just in the last hour that they have that individual detained already, speaking to that individual, and they're trying to make contact or find a second person to try to see if they were potentially involved here. But they're also pleading to eyewitnesses, anybody that saw something, to come forward and say something. The chief said that at this point, they're really not getting a whole lot of information from witnesses, so they want more. I'm curious what this is telling you thus far about maybe what possibly happened in Seattle.
I think I found what the suspect looked like. The person
Well,
that they
Polo, I
arrested.
think thankfully it's not going to
I
be
think
a
I found him. Give
terrorism-related
me a
event,
second.
is
I'm
what it
gonna show it to
sounds like,
y'all.
at least. Reading between the lines with what the assistant police chief said there. Looks like it might be crime-related, gang-related, as he described it, two people shooting it out with each other. Unfortunately, three innocent people killed and others wounded. So they've got one in custody right now. Plenty of witnesses. I mean, this food festival attracts up to 100,000 people a day. So there's plenty of people that certainly have some information. What they got to do now is pick up the phone and call the Seattle Police Department. And we heard the chief
Now you know they don't
pleading with them to
snitch.
please do exactly that.
We know that at least 3 people have been confirmed dead, several others injured, including that child that we mentioned at the top. What does that tell you about the incident itself? At this preliminary stage, and just based on what you're hearing and all of these reports coming from officials, does it look to you that many of the victims there were essentially caught in the crossfire?
I think that's exactly it. I think these were innocent bystanders, is how it's going to play out.
I got
Not
y'all. Give me a
targets of
second.
the two that were, at least two that were involved in the shooting. Very, very sad and unfortunate for those innocent bystanders. But law enforcement's going to work hard. They've got forensic evidence. They've got 2 guns that they've recovered there, so perhaps we'll get fingerprints. There are videos out there from spectators that shot videos, so that maybe they'll get some facial recognition. They'll get some witness interviews. It'll just take a little time, but over the next few hours, they'll gather some of that information.
All right, let me show y'all an update.
Fox News alert out of Seattle. 3 people dead, at least 4 others hurt, including a 2-year-old, after a shooting at the Seattle Center, all during an annual food festival. Police say 1 suspect's in custody while a manhunt is underway for a second alleged gunman. And officials are praising officers for their quick response on scene.
Gunshots were heard. We had officers in the area, in the immediate area, when these gunshots went off. Officers responded and addressed one of the shooters. That person gave up and was taken into custody. There was another person that we believe that was also involved that fled the scene, and officers began an active search for that person.
Joining us now to discuss this is retired FBI agent Jason Pack. Jason, thanks for coming on this morning. You know, you say this.
Here, let's scrub this. Don't worry about it. Let me see.
Can get in to make.
Hold on, I got y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. Show y'all the official arrest. All right, this is it. Check it out. You ready?
Suspect fled into a crowd of tens of thousands of people, so there's a 70-acre.
Here it is. There it is. That's it right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the close-up. That's the person that's the shooter.
Authorities are pressing.
That is the person that is the shooter right there.
A deadly mass.
That is the shooter. I want, before we dig into it, I want to show y'all the walk, the perp walk. All right, let me show you the perp walk.
Crime scene there with video. Thousands of people, so there's a 70-acre crime scene there with video.
Got the J's, got the dreads, J's dreads, got the walk, pants are sagging, the whole 9 yards. Got the J's, the walks, the dreads, the pants are sagging, the whole shebang. They don't want to actually release the you know, the official look of it. But that's it. Here, I'm gonna pull it up on this screen. We're gonna slow mo it for y'all. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. We're gonna go half speed. Gonna close this out. There it is. All right. What do y'all think? I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't definitively tell, but what they are saying is that it's a shootout. I can't definitively tell who it is. Let me tell you why I can't tell. All of the signs is pointing to YN behavior, YN activity. All of them. But here's the problem. The person got lighter hands. So I can't tell if their hands are light skinned or if it's a white skin. We might be wrong, y'all. Might be a white person. Might be a white person. They walk like a black person, though. I can't tell. We are in a dilemma, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a dilemma. We don't know what it is. I can't tell who it is. I can't tell who it is. Maybe it may be a other. It might be Mexican. It may be a other. We might have got them both wrong. Hispanic. We might be off on this, y'all. We definitely might be off on this. I can't tell. I cannot tell. This is as far as I can zoom in. Because just because it's light doesn't mean that they not black. Just because it's light don't mean that they white or that they not white. I can't tell. The walk though. That's crazy. I can't tell. I cannot tell what it is. He looks Hispanic. I saw a pic of him on the ground on AP News. All right, let me pull it up. I don't know why they don't release the photos of these people. Can't tell. Nah, I can't tell. So as soon as I get more information about it, we can't confirm nor deny it may be a other. So we can't confirm nor deny about what's going on right now. So somebody said they had seen it on AP News. Either way, it is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that this is what's happening and that people are dying and suffering and losing their lives and can't even go out and have a decent time anymore. But nowadays, you got to be more worried about if somebody is going to randomly hit somebody in the crowd because they don't even know how to resolve conflict effectively. And see, that's the other part of the conversation that we don't want to have. You know what the other part of the conversation is that we don't want to? Because see, I hear a lot of people say stuff like, you're not going to disrespect me, or we going to have to shoot it out, or this and that, right? But the part of the story that doesn't get talked about, the part of the story that people don't want to have a conversation about, is the kids that died. What if your self-disrespect or your ego lead to a situation where somebody innocent dies? Nobody cares. Nobody talks about that. Nobody has a conversation about the fact that kids die. Bullets gotta go somewhere. They don't always just go into the air or into a building. They had to get a small y'all be arguing and other people be getting killed. Y'all don't even be the ones that die. Y'all don't even be the ones that die. It's never the people that get into it that die. It's never the people that get into it that die. It's always other people that suffer the most whenever you feel disrespected. That's messed up. I'm searching the images. I don't see nothing, bro. All they got is the arrest of them from the back. So y'all got all of these cameras. Y'all got all of these cell phones. And y'all can't get one picture. It ain't no photos out right now. So as soon as the photos is released, as soon as they out, we'll get it popping and we'll figure out who it is. But as of right now, as of the recording of this live stream and this video, there are no photos of the alleged shooters, which it seems like they will be trying to get that out there as soon as possible so that they can get these people arrested. But it's messed up. Nobody thinks about the kids. Nobody thinks about families. It's a festival. Like, even as gang members, y'all can't say, you know what, man? It may not be the right time. It may not be the right situation. Is that him? No, that ain't him. Stop. It is him. Wow. So we was wrong. We was wrong. I got you. I'm about to put it on the screen. So this is the shooter. Shout out to the chat. I don't know what it is. I think it's a guy. I'm almost 100%. I need to enhance the image. This is him. They saying that that's the shooter. What is that? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is, bro. Now even I'm confused. I don't know what that is. Let me see. See if I can enhance it a little bit. Definitely is the build of the person that was walking. See if I can enhance the image slightly. And I'm going to get it up on the screen. I got you. I don't know what that is, bro. I don't know what that is. So this is the person that was arrested. Somebody said all races mixed into one sex. That's what it looked like, honestly. It looks like all races mixed into one sex. Let me get it up. Let me get it up. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Let's get a better, more focused picture of this person. Let's crop that. Let's save it. I got you. All right, I'm about to place it on the screen. I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know how you achieve that build. There you go. I don't know how you achieve such a build, but this is the best picture that I can get of it and that I can get on the screen for you guys, all right? So I don't know how such builds are achieved, but this is what the person is that it looked like. So if somebody can give me some insight on if somebody can give me some insight on what this is, I don't know what it is, but this is what the alleged shooter looks like. But here's the worst part about it. They don't look that old. They don't look that old. And why are they carrying pistols at a festival? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We've gotten to the point in life to where we can't even figure out what gender somebody is. Somebody says Samoan or Filipino. Y'all the worst chat ever. Y'all are the worst chat ever. But, all right, so let's back up for a second. Let's back up for a second before I read Super Chats. All right? The one thing that we do know, before we read Super Chats, the one thing that we do know is we know who the shooters are in this particular area. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
8:30 right now, following developments from a rash of deadly shootings overnight in Chicago.
Yes, we're talking about 6 shootings in the span of just 7 hours. They happened really speckled throughout the city there. A total of 5 people were killed. Brittany Trulis is live to break this all down for us with a timeline. Brittany, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Those shootings all spanning just about 7 hours. And on top of those 5 people killed in these 6 shootings, 4 additional people were also shot, including a 13-year-old boy. And aside from the shootings, a person was also stabbed overnight. But let's get into these shootings. They happen across the city, north, west, and south sides, all seeing violence. 9 total people were shot overnight. That first shooting happening at 69th at Ellis and Hyde, at 59th and Ellis and Hyde Park. Police say a man and a woman in their mid-20s were found in a vehicle, shot in the head, both dying at the University of Chicago Hospital. Investigators recovered a gun there, though. That second shooting, just over an hour later at Hamlin Boulevard in Adams, a 49-year-old James Gooden was walking on the sidewalk, and a 13-year-old boy was in a parked vehicle when 2 people started shooting, according to Chicago police. That 13-year-old boy was shot in the foot. He was taken to an area hospital in good condition. 49-year-old Gooden, though, shot in the head and did not make it. He is the only victim identified overnight. 4 other people were also shot while sitting in parked vehicles overnight, just after 11 p.m. on South Shore Drive, just south of 53rd Street. A 25-year-old man and woman were in a parked vehicle when police say a passing car started shooting. The man was shot in the stomach and died. That woman, though, is expected to recover. The last fatal shooting of the night also happened in a parked vehicle. Police say a 21-year-old was sitting in the car when someone walked up and started shooting in the Uptown neighborhood. The 21-year-old shot in the neck and died. Now, Mayor Brandon Johnson was on our show yesterday, and guys, you pressed him on summer violence. Just take a listen to what he had to say.
The violence that's going down has to be replaced with the investments that are going up, right? $2 billion on the west side of Chicago.
The good areas, the bad areas, walking down the street, sitting in the car, young people, older people, everybody is getting it in Chicago. But you got like a 900% greater chance of getting it if you just so happen to be black. And then they threw in a stabbing for good measure. So now we got Mayor Mohawk sitting up here. Now look at the woman, the white woman. The white woman is very much looking at him like, so you just going to skip over the question and you going to say that we need to keep on investing in people? What? The white woman is very confused at what he's saying right now. The man over there is looking at him like, this crazy mother effer with a mohawk on is sitting here gaslighting us. And in 7 hours, 5 people died in 6 shootings in 7 hours. Now, I want y'all to remember, this was Friday night going into Saturday night. So by the time that I woke up in the morning, it actually increased in numbers, but we're going to get there shortly. By the time that I woke up on Saturday morning and get ready for my meetup, now I will tell you, let me tell you what the difference is. Is now I was all through DC. I spent Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, all over DC. I said, I got to see it for myself. I went and seen the fountains, memorials, White House. I seen the rats running across the street. DC is a completely different place from when Biden had it. And I'm keeping it 100% real with you. When I first visited the White House, not even when I first visited the White House, when I first went to DC, I seen homeless encampments everywhere. And it's still homeless, right? But there's a difference between people being homeless and having an encampment. I didn't see no encampments, right? And I felt safe. I was in downtown, and then I went out to Tyson's, whatever, did some shopping out there. I carried my bags. I bought some new Levi's. I got some new jeans. I went with some different numbers, y'all. All right? We're going to talk about that later. We're not going to get into that right now. I tried some new jeans. So we're going to get into that. I'll talk about that after this segment. But my point being, you seen the National Guard chilling, right? Chocolate City was like, yo, what's going on? DC was safe. Just a few years ago, we used to be doing videos about how much crime was happening in DC. DC was safe. We're not going to talk about jeans yet. We're going to get to jeans shortly. DC was safe. I had a good time. We walked to the cigar bar. Never felt threatened. None of that. Hope they ain't boot cut. Yeah, Val Rice, we got new jeans. Tia, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about my jeans. I went with some different ones. I didn't go with 501s. I went with like 2 or 3 different cuts. Tried them on myself. Had a liberal white one. I'll talk about it in a minute. We'll get there. 5 people. Let's not act like this is not a big deal. These are deaths every day. I got some Maddie jeans. 5 people in 6 shootings. It's 5, 6, 7. And your sister didn't want to admit it, T? Listen. 5, 6, 7. That's the number. In Chicago, 5, 6, 7. 5 people killed in 6 shootings in 7 hours. 5 people killed in 6 shootings in 7 hours. That's insane. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But we're not done yet. Check it out.
$2.6 billion on the south side of Chicago. And so I believe over time, we'll see that gap close between what is happening in reality.
Now, DC stopped it immediately. Remember this. DC shut down crime, especially violent crime, immediately. He's talking about, I believe we're going to see it happen and it's going to have a slow burn. So you telling me my life is on a slow burn? And remember, Trump offered to send the National Guard to Chicago. He said, man, we could stop this. We could stop black people from killing black people over in Chicago. We can shut it down. We can arrest the people that ain't supposed to be here, get them deported up out of there, and make sure that we get tough on crime. We love to work with you, Mayor. Remember, the mayor didn't reach out to the president. The president reached out to the mayor and said, listen, we want to work with you guys, and we want to stop crime in Chicago in the same way that we stop crime in D.C. And you know what they said? F off, President. F off, President. I always wonder, does Black Lives matter to black people, even black politicians?
And what people are actually experiencing.
And again, this all happened happened yesterday morning before all of these overnight shootings. And guys, we have reached back out to the mayor's office to see if he has any new comments. Because like I said, 9 people shot overnight on a Thursday.
9 people shot, 5 people killed, 6 shootings in 7 hours.
Night even. So we did reach back out to see if he has any new comments. And that stabbing, though, happening in the Humboldt Park neighborhood, that victim did not cooperate with police.
And then the victim don't cooperate with the police. You know why? Because we know who our killers are. We know who the dealers are. We know who the people that's ruining the community. And they don't cooperate with the police. So now you got more killers that's still out there running around because we don't care about each other. We don't care. That's the one thing when it comes to killings and profilings. Let me add another caveat. The thing about white people is they don't mind finding a killer. They will follow him. Oh my God, it's a shooting over there. Follow him, Kate. No, don't get too close to him. Because we got to make sure that the police know where they're going. Oh, circle around the block. I think one just got out of the car. No. Finding. We may have to do a citizen's arrest. White people don't mind finding the killer and telling. They be telling. They tell on everything. And see, y'all be saying, mind your business. Sometimes you ain't supposed to mind your business. Hey, white people don't, they be, are you stealing? Can we get loss prevention? I'm sorry, ma'am. Do you work here? No, but I see something happening in my community that I don't want happening. I don't like it. Unless Trump is involved or it's ICE. Then they're going to defend it. But if it's not Trump and it's not ICE, then they're going to be a little bit more assertive and ensuring that they get that citizen's arrest. And then, see, black people, I'm not going on camera. I don't want nobody retaliating against me. White people grab the camera. Give me the camera. So listen. Cut it on. Cut on the camera. So this is what happened. I'll turn it around. No. Cut it on. Let's turn it back on. So this is what happened. So, yeah, they were on me. And I thought that they noticed me. But what we decided to do was we split up. And then we all followed them. And then we made sure that I had my buddy over there drop something inside of his pocket. Drop his phone inside of his pocket. So that we were able to use Life 360 and track him down. Wow, sir. You really did do the work of the people. Yeah. So I had my buddy, he dropped it inside of his back pocket, took a chance, bumped into him, dropped his phone in his pocket, and then we used Life 360 to track him down. They don't mind telling. I always suspected it, and I've called 37 times for the police to go over there and check it out. Every time we got an odd smell coming from that place, and finally they did something. So how many times? Look at the logs. Look at the logs. Called 37 times. Tried to make sure that you guys get out here. It's the mayor. He's been ignoring me forever, but I said I'm going to press through to ensure that the police go and inspect it. Even if you inspected it once, go and inspect it again. Two types of people that's persistent in this country. White people that don't hate Trump and older black people. Go to any community meeting. They're going to be right there. The last time I had to go before city council, it was 3 black people that came up before me. The city council was up there. They said, oh, okay, Mr. Johnson again. What's going on, Mr. Johnson? Hey. So I've been telling you guys for a long time. I don't like the construction that's in my area now. I've had my own personal surveyors go in there in 1989. In 89, they told me that you can't use plastic. It's going to break. We got to go in with copper this time. Okay. Now I see the crews out there. Been calling for 15 years. Finally got a crew out there. I went in. I inspected it in after hours just to double check that they weren't putting plastic in there. They were putting copper. And guess what? Plastic. Can't believe it. I said, I've been on this since 1989, and we finally get something done in our corridor, and you guys are doing it the wrong way. So I invoke Amendment 3273 to ensure that our rights as citizens and the monies that is being spent in our municipality is going towards copper, not plastic. That's what they say. That's how they are at the community meetings. At everyone. And when I got done doing my thing and I was only there for that time, he came up to me and said, hey, let me talk to you for a minute, young man. Young man, let me talk to you for a minute. I said, hey, what's going on, Unc? He said, you did good. You did good. And they listened to you for some reason. I've been trying to get them to listen to me for the entire time that I've been living in the neighborhood. I said, oh, that's what's up, Unc. Keep up the good work. We need young people like you inside of our neighborhoods to ensure that this legacy is carried on. Because, we don't have much longer over here, and we've been taking care of it. And I'd hate to see a bad element move in our neighborhood. But when we got people that are willing to get involved with the process like you, that's what we want to see. Would you like to join our neighborhood watch? No, Unc, I can't do it today, but I'll call you tomorrow. Okay, let me give you my number. Older black people and white people that is not dealing with something related to Trump are on it. They are on it. They are on it. They get every issue solved. They find every criminal. They keep track of all of the pedophiles. We need to organize a group meet, and the first order of business is we have to make sure that our kids, who's going to take shifts? Who's going to take shifts? Now, listen, I'm telling you what it's like. Who's going to take shifts? Well, what are we taking shifts for, John? Well, we need a rotation of parents and trucks, to stand at the bus stops to ensure that our children get on and off carefully. All right, you know what? I volunteer. Make sure you're 15 minutes early because 5 minutes early is late. All right? Sometimes the buses come and they pick up the children early, and we have to make sure that just in case, the parents can also have a truck to be able to take the children to school in the event that something happens to the bus. And don't let all of the kids get on the bus, but that the bus didn't pull the stop sign in first. What are you fucking doing? Because if you try to pass and everything is, but the stop sign, because like the bus driver will wave you past, oh, come on back. You good. But he forgot to pull the stop sign in. That's on the bus, but the parent that's on the other side didn't see him wave you by. So you start to go by. So do you see the kids? Oh my God. Can't believe it. Why would you go and you need to wait? There's nothing more important than the children. Hey man, this bus driver told me, oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's a lot of people that come through here just flying on by. We put the signs up and they just don't act like they don't see it. They don't play no games. They don't play no games. They not playing no games whatsoever when it comes to finding out who is doing what, where. No games. They're on it. They know all of the bylaws, everything that's going on. Had a lady call. I had just bought the property. I bought it the day before, went out there, and the people called me. They said, we had to send somebody out to cut the grass. I said, I just bought the property. I literally just bought the land yesterday. I closed out on it yesterday. I came here today. I was talking to the neighbors. I was like, hey, you know anything about the people that live next door to this property? Yeah, I just bought that property. So, oh, you're the new person that bought it? Are you gonna live there, or what are you gonna do with it? So yeah, I'm gonna build a house there or whatever. Okay, that's great. This is the honest to God, raise my property values. You know, I just called it the day before yesterday, and they sent somebody out to cut the grass. And so they'll probably bill you for it. They're gonna bill you for it. You just go to the same place where you pay your property taxes online. You'll see a bill for it. I didn't know you bought it. This is my first time meeting you, but we've had problems with that property before, and so I'll be a little bit more mindful this time since I know that somebody's here and they own it. So thank you. Oh, y'all ain't seen life. I have seen life. I see it. I see it. So I know when identification comes. And so when they say this stuff on the news right here,
did not cooperate with police. They are.
The victim didn't cooperate. I know that's a YN all day long. That's YN territory. That's all YN territory. That's YN territory. I'm not cooperating. I'd rather die. I'd rather die and let everybody in my family die than sit here and talk to you, the police. Because we defunding the police. Yes, sir, but the police is the ones that saved your life. As soon as they came here, they got here, and they called you the ambulance. You was passed out. I don't care nothing about no police. All y'all pigs to me. That's what we got to deal with. This is why we have problems inside of our communities. We can solve for the issues, but we got incompetent leadership and we got an incompetent culture.
Expected to recover, but the 4 people killed overnight, guys, we still don't have their names. We only have the name of the 149-year-old who was killed. We also don't have a lot of information about what led up to these shootings from police. It sounds like people were just sitting in parked vehicles when passing cars or people walking up started shooting. So there's a lot of information still missing from these cases, but police are investigating, though, and we're still digging as well. I'll send it back to you for now.
Okay. Chicago police spent the overnight hours responding to.
Now, this is the very next day. All right, so that was Friday going into Saturday. This is, I believe, Saturday going into Sunday. All right, very next story.
One shooting after another. As of this morning, at least 14 people had been shot. WGN's Andrea Medina has the very latest. She joins us live now. Andrea.
Hi, Pat. Area 4 detectives here are investigating a mass shooting on the west side, but overall, investigators are piecing together a night of gunfire that touched neighborhood after neighborhood, with most of the shootings still unsolved. A wave of gunfire erupting.
Look where it's at. Look where it's at. Look where it's at. And that's going to be the space where everybody keeps telling you, yeah, man, you need to come and invest in the hood, man. Come and open up some businesses. Hey, man, why we don't have major investment coming into the neighborhood, bro? All of it is going downtown to the Bean. How come everybody want to go downtown to the Bean? How come nobody want to invest in the neighborhood?
Across Chicago late Saturday night into early Sunday morning.
Saturday night into Sunday morning. I want y'all to see it for yourself. So you can't sit here and say that I'm making this up. The only thing that I'm having a conversation about is what happens. If nothing happens, I can't talk about it.
Leaving at least 14 people shot and 3 people dead in just a matter of hours.
14 people shot in a matter of hours. 14 people shot in a matter. Now, whoever was moving around and the people that was moving around on Friday night going into Saturday night going into Sunday night, they said, I got you. I got you. You trying to break our record, huh? So you trying to break our record of what we got going on? I see you, your 6 shootings, and I up you 14 people shot. You did 7, we did 14. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, I see your 7 and I raise you 14.
EMS Plan 1, 930 North Central Park for multiple people shot.
Just after 2 a.m., the largest shooting of the night unfolded in Humboldt Park, where 6 people were hit. Neighbors who didn't want to go on camera say a block party took a violent turn after the street reopened.
Nothing like a good old block party that reopened after 2 a.m.
Police say a gunman fired into a group near Augusta Boulevard and North Central Park Avenue. 2 men, ages 35 and 36, suffered multiple gunshot wounds and remain in critical condition. 4 others are expected to survive.
Now they're going to pay the white police officer overtime to come in and put shell casings, to put evidence markers over the shell casings when y'all go over there and kill each other. No worries. We don't have to worry. Listen, this is what I know for sure. We don't have to worry about Ben Crump. We don't have to worry about Albert Sharpton. We don't have to worry about Joy Reid. You'll never see Don Lemon walking in this neighborhood doing street interviews trying to understand why people is killing each other. You don't have to worry about Obama. Hey, Michelle, you don't have to worry about Obama coming there. The police chief already quit 2 weeks ago, so we already know that he's retiring. He couldn't even do the whole administration. He said, I'm up out of here. We don't have to worry about Joy Reid. We don't have to worry about Jamil Hill. You ain't got to worry about none of these people pulling up in the Chicago neighborhoods where the majority of the people are killing each other. No worries. We good over here. We good. Jasmine Crockett, why would she ever comment on something like this? Umar Johnson, peace and Pan-Africanism. Neanderthal behavior. You don't have to, listen. You don't have to worry about not a single entity, not none. I said this on After Hours the other day. I said, listen, I don't care anything about this Nolan Wells case until they get sufficient evidence to prove to us that it was a race-based attack and conversation, and then we'll have that conversation. And until then, why are we wasting energy and time when we see people dying every single day in the very neighborhoods and the very same spots over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? We see it every single day, all day, every day. There is no shortage of shootings that we can stop amongst ourselves. But if it ain't a white man that's involved, if it ain't a police officer that's involved, you don't have to worry about having this conversation. They can't blame Trump about it. They can't blame the white man about it. They can't blame some form of racism. They can't introduce an Asian man that's in there. So it's not going to get no kind of visibility unless Anton from AntonDaniels.com starts having a conversation about it. And that's really what the skinny of it is. Night after night. 7 people got shot the night before. 14 people get shot the day after. Nobody cares. No. D.L. Hughley. Now, why would D.L. Hughley talk about anything except for race? I don't even know if D.L. Hughley tell jokes anymore. The only thing I ever see him do is race hustle. Race hustle. Hustle the race and the race hustle. We should do it. We should make up a new hustle called the race hustle. Just the whole time that we doing the hustle, just make sure we keep our hands up. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Now slide, baby. Come on, not dip, baby. Just make sure you keep your hands up. Because if you don't keep your hands up, you got to get off the dance floor. This is a race hustle. Cotton candy, sweeten, roll. Let me see you. Tootsie roll. Tootsie roll. Hey, tootsie roll. Whatever you do, it's not the race hustle unless you got your hands up in the air. Don't shoot, baby. Shoot. Come on, now shoot, baby. Shoot. Let me see it. Roll. Roll. Hold on. God, get it. Roll. Roll. Baby, come on now, dip. Baby, dip. Dip, baby, dip. Arrest, baby. Put your hands back of the head. Don't you move them. Then you dead. Hey, then you dead. Hands on the back of your head, you're dead. You move them hands, you dead. Back of the head, dead. Blame police. Then roll. Hey, getting real sassy with it now. Hey, the beginners just got to do like this till they get used to it. When you get real good, don't shoot, baby. Shoot. Hey, don't shoot. Hey, don't shoot. Shoot, baby, shoot. We ain't got to worry about it. I'm sorry. I'm so unhinged. I apologize to anybody that I may have offended. To all of the race hustlers, I apologize for our new dance. I don't know I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, man. I don't know what's wrong. I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with our communities. We don't know what we're going to get on the Millionaire Morning Show. We do know that there will be conversations that need to be had, and it will be uncomfortable. All right? Oh, man. I didn't kill these people. We were partying in D.C. where it was safe, where the National Guard was preventing crime. Y'all was in Chicago killing each other and acting like y'all like each other. What am I supposed to do?
The first deadly shooting happened in Roseland just before 1 in the morning. CPD says a gunman opened fire into a crowd gathered outside in the 10400 block of South Michigan Avenue.
Hey, look at the evidence markers. Oh, look at the evidence marker. What is going on with the evidence markers? Why is it so many every single night?
A 20-year-old woman was shot and is expected to survive. Another woman, a 24-year-old, was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center where she later died. Just 8 minutes later in Hermosa, police say a verbal argument inside a home in the 2000 block of North Pulaski turned violent when one person pulled out a gun. A 22-year-old man was shot in the finger while trying to disarm the suspect who ran away before officers arrived. 5 minutes after that, on the west side, a 30-year-old man standing outside in the 500 block of North LeClaire was shot in the leg and taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in serious condition. Then just 3 minutes later, a 61-year-old man was found fatally shot in the back in the 5600 block of South Racine in Inglewood. 40 minutes later, another shooting, this one in the 3400 block of West Cermak Road. Police say a 22-year-old man was sitting inside his car when a white Jeep pulled up alongside him and someone inside opened fire. He was shot in the body and taken to Mount Sinai in serious condition. And just after 3 in the morning, another deadly shooting on the far south side near the 8900 block of South Escanaba. A man was shot in the neck and killed while a 32-year-old woman survived.
You know, this is sad. This is so sad. This is sad on so many levels. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, more bodies in Iran. This is where the war is. The war is on the south side. They racking up more bodies in Iran. Bro, more people die in Chicago on a weekend than soldiers have died in this Iran war total. You know how insane that sounds? More people have died in Chicago this weekend, and they all black, than American soldiers have died over in Iran or on the military bases for neighboring countries. Do you know how crazy that is, bro? You know how insane that is? And we sit here worried about what's happening overseas instead of worrying about what's happening right in your own neighborhoods.
Now it's not clear what led up to each of these shootings, and so far, no arrests have been made.
And not a single arrest. Not one. Not one. Not a single arrest. Not one. People dead, people dying. Not a single. Why is this not an emergency within the community? Not a single arrest. Everybody dead, nobody arrested, everybody running around killing everybody. You know how insane that sounds, bro? You know how wild that is? You know how crazy that is? That ain't nobody worried about getting caught by the police and everybody killing everybody? And we sitting here having conversations and doing mass investigations worried about white people? The greatest trick that white people did was, it was like, well, listen, just let them hang out amongst each other. They'll do their own job. We ain't increased not 1 percentage point, not a 0.1 percentage point of the population. Between Planned Parenthood and the hood, both hoods is doing more than any white hood that's over a white person's face ever could. And that's the truth. Between the hood and Planned Parenthood, you ain't never got to worry about a white robe hood over somebody's face. They already doing it to themselves. That's the only hood that you got to worry about. Going to Planned Parenthood, going to the hood is way more dangerous than anybody with a white hood over their face. And that's the truth. That's the facts. It can't be any more impactful than that. That's the real talk. But see, they don't want to talk about that because you know what? You're going to be called a sellout if you bring it up and you make it plain and you make it known that this is the things that you're really worried about. If you, as a black person, ever say, you know what? I'm concerned about the killings in my community and I would like to catch the people that did it because not one person is arrested, sell out. Sell out. You want to get rich? Go and open up a funeral home in Chicago. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I'm going to read Super Chat shortly because I want to stay in Chicago. Don't worry. I told y'all, we going to the next level. Next level. We not done. I want to stay right here in Chicago, and I want to show you something else that they're not going to talk about. And it is a reason why it's not going to be talked about. All right? Let's dig into it. Let's get to it.
Several Save-A-Lot stores on the city's south and west sides are on track to shut down by the end of the week. The looming closures would make it even harder for residents in underserved neighborhoods to access fresh groceries. WGN's Jenna Barnes joins us live with the details. Jenna?
Yeah, Mike, the cost of living is expensive. Groceries are expensive. And the shoppers we met out in Inglewood today are frustrated that they could lose one of the few convenient and affordable grocery stores they have. Discounts and disappointment for shoppers at the Save-A-Lot store at 63rd and Halsted.
We ain't going nowhere to go. We need affordable things to be able to feed our kids.
All 7 Save-A-Lot.
I want y'all to look at this, bro. These are the people that are doing the shopping inside of these grocery stores. Killings is up, stores is down. They already done shut down the CVS's, the Walgreens. Now it's becoming a food desert. 7 more grocery stores, all of them in Chicago, are shutting down. 7. All of them. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. How many more protests y'all want to do? Or y'all want to get to the core of it? Because I'm going to tell you, I could turn your cities around. Bro, let me tell you something, bro. I had so many people saying, man, you should run for this. You should run for that. You should be the ambassador of our city. I would love for you to come over here. I would love for you to go right there. I can't tell you how many emails and comments on a regular basis they say we need people like you to actually be able to. I said, man, there ain't no money in that. I'm a chaser. I'm a chaser. This is what we do. I don't know if it's no money in that. I got too much integrity. I'm a chaser.
Able to feed our kids.
All 7 Save-A-Lot stores operated by a company called Yellow Banana are set to shut down Saturday unless new investors step in. Save-A-Lot blaming financial challenges for ending its arrangement with the operator.
So within a 2-mile stretch, we're losing 2 grocery stores within the Inglewood community.
This one used to be a Whole Foods. It closed in 2022, and we were there as Yellow Banana was planning to open.
Now look. Look at the people that's in these communities that shop at these locations. Now, you got to remember, if you look at it and you start paying attention to your context clues, you can see that this is actually a store that used to be a different store that reopened up as this store as a Save-A-Lot. So it was already a place that was dying, and then you had somebody else that stepped in to be a grocer, and now that group of people can't survive in these places.
In the new store, Inglewood pushed back.
We wanted something substantial, something that we knew would be viable for the community.
The city worked out a deal to give Yellow Banana $13.5 million to renovate rundown Save-A-Lot stores. Its CEO promised change.
These will be very, very different stores than what you're used to.
The Chicago Sun-Times reports he died earlier this year, and 3 years after those promises, the stores are set to close. In a statement, Save-A-Lot says they faced financial headwinds, including dramatic cuts to SNAP benefits, which have severely impacted these stores. Compared to last year, the stores have experienced a 26% decline.
Whenever you have a business that is interdependent on SNAP to survive, it is not a viable business. Whenever you have a business that is dependent on food stamps and SNAP benefits to survive, there is a bigger issue within the culture in the community. If the majority of the people that shop there has to use food stamps and government benefits for it to stay open, it's not a viable business. So then we have to have a much deeper conversation. Objectively speaking.
Decline in SNAP EBT tender types.
Obviously, our investments that we put forward to create these spaces.
Oh, we're going to get there, A-Dun. Don't worry. This is the before video. We're going to get to the after video. I want to show you Brandon Johnson speaking on this issue before we get to the actual real results. Y'all want to hear him?
In the first place, speaks to my commitment to expanding access to fresh food. I'm certainly committed to finding ways in which we can ensure that groceries still exist in neighborhoods that have historically not had access to fresh food.
For neighbors, a solution can't arrive fast enough.
We barely have neighborhood grocery stores, and to know that they're closing more stores, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to shop. Like, what grocery stores could you really go to?
Save-A-Lot says Yellow Banana is working to find an alternative before Saturday. Shoppers are hopeful they can find a way to stay open.
Now, that was last week. I saved this story because I wanted to see what was going to happen after Saturday. When I got back from D.C., I wanted to see, okay, well, were they able to save these 7 grocery stores, or what happened?
We're live tonight. Jenna Barnes, WGN News.
Jenna, thank you very much.
Should have access to a grocery store, just like everybody should have access to a doctor. And having a grocery store nearby really changes your entire life, your family's life.
Frustration from Governor Pritzker after a number of Save-A-Lot grocery stores are slated to close for good tonight unless a last-minute deal can be reached. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Bang. Bryant McCrae is live with the latest. Bryant.
Good evening. Those closures taking place in areas called food deserts, primarily in low-income areas or far away from fresh food or supermarkets. Tonight, people in the community say they're not surprised by these closures. A parking lot on Chicago's South Side slowly clears out as a grocery store called Save-A-Lot prepares to say goodbye. The closure coming at no surprise for Southside resident John Kali Emodaji.
It's the same old story, to be honest with you. And it's not just here, it's nationally when it comes down to black communities.
It's always we's the victim. Black communities. You know, we the ones that we always bear the brunt of it. It's everybody else's fault about what happens in our communities. Crime is up, money is down, killings is up. Nobody's shopping unless they got grocery benefits and EBT. We can't buy chips with our EBT and pop and soda. I'm mad now. It's always the same conversations since I was a little kid. It's the same thing. Save us. But we hate Asians. But save us. And we're not going to shop at any other person that invests in our community, especially if you're Asian because of Rick Chow. But come on and save us. We don't like white people, but why are y'all not investing in our neighborhoods? Save us. We don't want to work with nobody else except for our own. We want to be segregated, but save us. We was better off when we was segregated. We don't like it that you guys abolish Jim Crow. The next thing you know, very next video. Oh, where we gonna shop at? We ain't got no food. We ain't got no jobs. Our teenagers can't put in no applications nowhere. Crime is up. And we ain't telling on the person that killed him. So police, do your job.
The Save-A-Lot shuttering its doors after the city backed the operator with $13.5 million in taxpayer financing. It was a part of a roughly $26 million deal to buy and rebuild 6 stores on the south and west side. The operator, an Ohio company called Yellow Banana, agreed to keep them open for 10 years. The stores didn't make it 2. Save-A-Lot and the city both pointing to cuts in federal food assistance.
I heard that the federal government had a little hand in this particular one.
Oh, now it's it's Trump's fault. Hey, Trump, why you do this to us, man? It's Trump. Trump did it. It's Trump. It was the federal government. Federal government shut down all 7 stores. No evidence. No nothing. But listen, we gonna blame Trump, and then we gonna fix this out. It's Trump's fault. No, it's Trump. It's Trump's fault. Don't worry about it. Trump did it. Trump derangement syndrome. It's federal government's fault. Trump.
Save-A-Lot is unfortunately the first casualty.
At a WNBA event Saturday, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker touting the work he's done to keep grocery stores open.
I put an initiative in several years ago called the Illinois Grocery Initiative, and what it does is literally help people start grocery stores.
However, people who live in these areas say they believe it's only a matter of time before another grocery store goes dark.
Hope is abstract. Action is key.
Now, the governor says under his initiative, at least a half a dozen stores have opened statewide. Tonight, 7 stores closing their doors. We did reach out to Yellow Banana and Save-A-Lot for comment. We have not heard back yet. For now, reporting live in downtown Chicago, Bryant McCrae, WGN News.
Listen. You guys are going to have to wake up before it's too late. Or maybe, again, people that embrace the culture are cursed. I seen there was some more teen takeovers over the weekend. Maybe we can't get right. Maybe it is impossible for collectively the culture to make a smart, wise decision on their own behalf, and they have to basically be told what to do from other people that don't look like them in order for them to be able to get it together. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I do not know. But what I do know is it is a bad look. It is very unfortunate. And I don't understand why y'all not panicking. Why is this not a big deal? Nobody has been able to explain to me why your leaders in the black community are not outraged at what is going on. Why people are not absolutely pissed off and saying, man, I don't like what's going on right now. Why are people not crashing out at this? We got to go out since I like to dance. Oh, now hey, Billy Ray, you know that we're going to have to do our new hustle, the race hustle. This is the greatest show on earth. If you have not subscribed and you watching this show, you missing out. If you have not shared this with your family and friends, you missing out. If you are not a part of the Bag Chasers and the Patreon, you are missing out. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to the sponsor of the show, Teach Henley. 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. We love you. We appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that support the show. Welcome to the second half of the Millionaire Morning Show on a Monday. Wesley Turner in the building says, AD, did you see the video of the liberal woman blaming Christian white men for a Muslim terror attack at a pride parade in Germany the other day? No, send it to me. You know, I like that type of content. I like that. Where he at? Where he at, though? What up, AR is back. I appreciate you. It's a shy guy. Says he built like a lumpy space princess. Yeah, that shooter was crazy over there in Seattle. We're going to find out as much more as we can about him. Shakur Nash says, the meetup was a good time indeed. So great meeting and chopping it up with everybody. Looking forward to the next. A lot of people say, what do y'all be doing in the Patreon? Linking up in real life. Make sure y'all tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos in the Patreon. Outlander, what up? Says there was a car attack in Germany. Send me that. We might have to pivot on that. We got a lot of stories to cover this week. Shakur Nash says, oh, and some nice folks added to the vibe as well. Your car, my guy, Azriel, such a beautiful person. My man, Five Brown, dropped some knowledge on me. Saturday Night Beaters with my profile picture says, get the shooter some TCB. Some TCB for his hair. Terrell says the guy with the Gucci bucket hat from Chicago whose sister was murdered in the store got arrested for shooting someone who he believed was involved. Send that to me. Sinech. Shout out to my dog, Darnell Wilkins says the respect and value of life has plummeted to all-time lows. Spaces, my dog said there were about 5 of us sitting outside of the main spot, just chilling and talking. The rats and roaches was more aggressive than the humans. I go out like a straight up menace. Gia. See, you ain't think I knew about that. You don't think I know about MC8 and CM Dub? What was it, CM Dub? Compton's Most Wanted? Yeah, Compton's Most Wanted, something like that. See, I'm a historian. I'm the new and the old, all built into one. Get on Target TV says, good morning, AD and the Bag Chasers. It's funny how in Washington, they call it a mass shooting, but in Chicago, it's just 9 people that got shot. Just a normal weekend in Chicago, baby. Eric Harris says, shout out to Luther, Uncle Luke Campbell, running for Congress in the 20th District. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pass on Luke Skywalker, just Christian Black. What up to you on the 25 ball? You own one today. You need to do meetups every weekend if you're going to be like this afterwards. I was excited to see my people and the people that support me and love me the most. And I'm going to read my girl, Our Streets, is in here in the building too. But we going to get there in a minute. She looked out for your boy, but I'm going to get there in 1 second. I love her. Our Streets is so fine. She's so fine. If you ever want to see Our Streets, all you got to do is come to the meetup. She's so fire. Bad. I said, what? I said, let me get that tall drink of Azriel over there. You know, her name do sound like a drink, right? And let me get that tall drink of Azriel. Yeah, you on one today. Yes, I am. Trey, what up, Trey? Trey said, have you noticed that everybody getting shot for just sitting in a car? I'd advise Chicago to not sit in the car because somehow it's a death trap. Yo, I told somebody the other day, I said, you can't be sitting in a car based off of what I seen from Chicago. Based off of what you see with Chicago, you welcome, Streets. Spacer says these stories are ruining everything I was telling people at the meetup about how the media amps up stuff about Chicago. Man, I'm telling you, it is what it is. Man, ain't no money in that. That's facts. And if it ain't no money in it, we got to get out of there. Shout out to my dog Marlo Reed with the super stick. I appreciate you. Ain't no junk food in by house except whipped cream. I don't know what that means. Coach Gray says the culture is done time, dog. Every man for himself and God is for us all. F them. Got to take care of your circle. It's a wrap. Alex Robinson in the building says, I must say black people refuse to police each other, be accountable, and just be responsible. Having graduated from slavery, the tracks be fire too. Yeah, my picks are solid. My picks are solid. Real Life PJ says, clearly AD isn't still in party mode. I can't wait for Dallas. Dallas! I'm putting it in the Patreon today. Latrell says, I'm in Boston right now, and I just saw 4 YNs steal a DoorDash's moped while he was in the hospital delivering food. Wild behavior. Crazy. What up to my dog Philip Sadiq says 5 o'clock nonchalant. Charlie LeBron says 80 put them ninjas all running their own community. What up, Charlie? Hey, shout out to my girl, Our Streets. I'm going to call her Our Streeter. Our Streets says had a blast in D.C. and it was so great seeing you. You give the best hugs. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I like to hug. I like to hug. Yeah. And I called me a first class flight back home. I said, y'all not going to show me no good time in D.C. and think that I'm not going to show appreciation to the people. Y'all ready to get into the second half of the show? Because you know we got to go into Ryan Clark, right? You know we got to get to Ryan Clark, right? You know, I'm going to just be honest with you. I was disappointed in Ryan. I expected more from him. but that's what I get. They said never meet your heroes. I'm not saying that he's my hero, but I'm speaking on it figuratively. Let's get to it, y'all.
But Marcus was asked, I wasn't. So there were just signs throughout the season, like even now. If you look at everything for the Super Bowl year, I'm not on any of that. A guy that's supposed to be a part of Monday Night Football, a man that's supposed to be a part of NFL Live, a man that's a huge part of First Take, was a part of building Get Up. So to me, the signs were always there. And I called, man. Yeah. I called executives, I called decision makers, I called bosses. Is my schedule changing? What's it look like? And it was never a definitive answer. But I think it was never a definitive answer because this was always the plan.
Yeah, and you're not a shy dude. Like you said, I know you ain't just sitting in the shadows with your head down. You're gonna address situations. But if it's not performance-based, what's it based off of?
Well, to address the head down thing, what makes me a little bit sad about myself is I did adjust who I was to try to keep my job. I did have meetings with people and say, okay, what is it that you need from me? Not the analyst. The analyst he was damn good, right? If you care about the person that's on TV, what is it you need from me? Because I want to do that. I want to build a relationship. I want to involve you in the things I'm doing. You know, man, like this show, for 3 years, bro, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year because I knew I couldn't have no beef. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect, right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. What makes me sad is, even in trying to adjust to be at least more of what certain people wanted, they still fired me.
Let me say this first of all. If you have to adjust and code switch, and I'm saying code switch figuratively, in order to meet the expectation from your employer, then that means that you was never doing what you were supposed to do in the first place, right? Before we ever get into the race-based part of the conversation, because it always comes back down to the fact that you was black. Now, never mind the fact that white people was also fired and laid off too. The reason why you were fired and laid off, because you were black. I was trying to be more of what they wanted me to be. Bro, you was on there for like 11, 12 years. You was on there for like 11, 12 years. Guess what happens in the industry? Things happen. Stephen A. Smith got let go previously, and he didn't whine and complain and say that he was black. You know what he did? He hustled. He worked harder. Next thing you know, he got a $100 million contract, and nobody tripped about it. Now everybody, when Stephen A. was getting let go and fired, everybody was rocking with him. That's probably because he had Skip sitting across from him, and so he had a white opponent. Now that Stephen A. is the $100 million man, everybody expects for him to be able to say something or pull him up, or to be able to stand up because he's the voice all of a sudden of the black culture and the black community. I'm amazed. So when you get let go, it's racism. And again, this is why I have it at the bottom of the screen. Racism is a grown-up disease. Stop using kids to spread it. We put this same nonsense and mentality and mindset, we plant it hard in our kids. Maybe it was just a restructuring and you was one of the weakest links. And I'm not saying that's what it is, because the executives haven't said anything, so there's nothing we can speak on about that. Or maybe people just wanted you to come in and talk about football and stop making it personal about what you felt should be talked about on the network, because he has a history of saying things and using that platform to amplify a message that he feels is important, maybe not even what the producers or what the executives feel need to be talked about. But we always got to wear blackness on our sleeve. Let me ask y'all a question. if one of the white pundits, if Pat McAfee decided to wear whiteness on his sleeve, meaning that he brought that up in multiple different conversations about that being the dominant reason as to why certain things happen, or to speak about this particular thing, what do you think that people would say? What do you think that people would say? I'll tell you what the conversations are. You want me to tell you? I'll tell you. People, both black, white, and everything in between, are absolutely tired of the race hustle. The race hustle is exhausting. There are so many people that's like, yo, we are tired of you being a victim based off of what your perception of the racial part of the conversation is. They are exhausted. They are tired. They are sick of it. They don't want to keep on being in this same conversation over and 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 over again. People are sick of people blaming everything, even when it's not race related, on race and racism and race problems and race relations and race this and race that and erase. And I don't like erasers. People sick of it. They tired, bro. Don't nobody want to hear that, man.
And so I think that is difficult. I think it's about some of who I am, and it's about certain executives not connecting to that, not supporting that, not wanting to champion that, not wanting to give that the vast platform that is ESPN. And I think they utilized it to make an example of me.
Now, why would a sports network want to utilize its platform to make it a race-based conversation? What I would suspect that the majority of the people that actually watch ESPN are not even black. The majority of the people that tune in to see an ESPN highlights is probably, and I don't have any data or analytics to back this up, but just based off of the popularity of maybe Pat McAfee or football season, who the majority of the fans are white, the ones that spend the money, the ones that be at the game, the ones that buy the hot dogs, the ones that tailgate. Maybe they didn't want to make sports, a sports network, 100% race-based conversations. So why do they have to support you when you're not necessarily supporting them? Nobody is asking y'all to be exceptional. All they asking y'all to do is to do your mother effing job. Why is that so difficult for people to understand?
But RC, you called some people to figure out what you can do. Did anybody give you a heads up?
Yeah, I gotten some heads up. I mean, summer ago, Stephen A. sat with me, took me to lunch in Los Angeles. And he told me, he said, you know, there's a particular executive that doesn't like you. Now, let me be honest.
Let me tell you how so smart people are that they stupid. Let me tell you how smart these dumb people are. Or how dumb these smart people are. That's a better way to put it. I want to show y'all how dumb these smart people are. Or maybe it's intentional. But either way, it's malicious. The first thing that he said was, Stephen A. took me to lunch. And he was telling me about this executive that got it out for me. Now, I'm assuming that that executive still works there and that Stephen A. still has to work with them. Why would anybody, if this is the person that held you down, Let me break it down to y'all like this. That's like me finding out that somebody is coming to get my homeboy. And then I pull him to, hey man, listen, bro, you got to be careful, bro. They out to get you. You know, they're not feeling you, so either you're going to have to change, make some adjustments or whatever, man. But off the record, make sure you do what you're supposed to do, man, or do this, do that. And then he go back and he say, hey man, my man Anton told me that you was out to get me. Nigga, why would you do that? Because if that was the case, I would have never told you in the first place. Why would you say publicly on a platform that Stephen A said that this particular executive and decision maker where was these people raised, bro? Where was these people? This is why I be telling Stephen A, man. Real talk. I be telling Stephen A, you got to stop looking out for people because they going to come back and it's going to bite you. It's going to come back to bite you. The very people that you keep standing for, the very people that you keep holding down, they not even situationally aware enough to not throw you under the bus on their way out the door. Not even situationally aware enough to not throw you under the bus because you still got to work there, big dog. To not throw you under the bus on the way out the door. Either you intentional about what you're saying, which is even more malicious, or you just too dumb as a smart person. See, this is why we got to have a different type of show. We can't have the same type of show as everybody else. We got to have a different type of show because we see it through a different lens. We don't look at this the same way that everybody else looks at it. Why would he do that? Why would he do that to Stephen A? Stephen A threw you a bone. He gave you the heads up. He advocated for you publicly. He said that you're a phenomenal person. He don't say nothing negative about you. And you do this on your own platform the minute that you get some space to speak. And I got to say that Cam Newton handled this way better. Way better than Ryan. And I did not know that this was going to happen. I didn't know that Cam was going to be the more mature one and that Ryan Clark would be the child. What do I say to people all the time? What do I tell y'all? I say, take your L's in silence. Now he looks like a disgruntled worker. Now he's throwing his previous employer that paid him probably an egregious amount of money for the last 11, 12 years, right? Now he's throwing his previous employer under the bus. You look like a bitter baby mama. Now everybody else going to say, oh, the women going to big you up. He's speaking his truth. He's just saying what's on his mind. He has a right to be able to get it off. But see, what we don't pay attention to is the shrapnel, the repercussions that come along with your decisions to say and do what you want to do. You think it ain't times that I want to say stuff? I seen a chick go on a platform and do a whole interview. And was saying some crazy stuff, which I'm not going to address because that's water under the bridge. I had to hit the group chat. I had to talk to them. I said, hey, no, wait, hold on a minute. Was saying wild numbers and all kind of junk. I said, why would they do that? Why would they just say some crazy junk like that? What are you doing? But guess what I did? Kept a G. Stayed out the mix. Chill. Talk to the people. I just keep it G. You know why? Because even when people do crazy stuff, you got to sometimes take your L's in private. You got to take your L's in private. You can't do what everybody else do. You know what? It was a good run, guys. We made a lot of money together. We made history. We had 12 years on the network, 11, 12 years on the network. Man, we had some great times, bro. I appreciate y'all, and it gave me more visibility so that I can launch my own platform. Let's keep it moving. That's how Cam approached it. Cam was just like, yo, we had a great run. I learned a lot. I seen a lot. I met some great people. And I don't regret ever working for the organization. Now let's keep it moving. But no, Ryan here goes on a tirade and throws his own homie under the bus on his way out the door. Nice. Good job, Ryan. Impressive. He's speaking his truth.
I've been hearing this for years, right? It had gotten to me so many times. And so having that dinner or that lunch with Stephen A was just confirmation of it. He's like, you need to go set a meeting. But so many times when I heard about this particular person, it was, he doesn't like you, or he's said this negatively. So I'd heard it a ton of times. And I got a call this offseason from someone within the building, and they said the way I stand up for our community is commendable, right? That they respected that in my position I had a passion for that, but they also said it had created enemies for me at the executive level. It had created opposition, and that there were people within that building that were going to stand on the table for me. And it was such a shock because I thought to myself, in the most important year in ESPN football, you gotta stand on the table for me? Like, for me. Like, there's somebody that needs to be convinced that our NFL coverage is elevated when I'm on TV. Like, there's a person that knows football. There's a person that knows TV that thinks that 13 years in the NFL, Super Bowl, Pro Bowler, a captain, experience from being an undrafted free agent to trying to make the team, to being one of the leaders in the locker room. 12 years of doing this, you got to convince that person that I should be doing TV. And, what I learned was it wasn't about who I was in front of the camera as it pertained to football. It was about what I represented every time I got in front of that camera.
It's your blackness, right? Okay, we got it.
And
maybe that's why they gave Stephen A. $100 million. It wasn't because of his blackness, apparently, right?
That is something that I don't believe you truly can combat.
When it's all said and done, that's the least anyone can do. I mean, you stand up and stand on, the shoulders of, or for so many people. Like, what you do, bruh, is unbelievable. So for someone to stand up for you, I think that's the minimum anyone can do. But so also, I want to put this to bed, because a lot of people have been having their takes about Stephen A., and you mentioned Stephen A. Is there anything Stephen A. could have done to make this go away?
No.
Why is Stephen A. have to be the savior of y'all? What is it that y'all looking for? I seen, I think we did a review video the other day of Emmanuel Acho saying that he should have took a pay cut or something like that. Why do y'all keep on saying that Stephen A. got to do anything for y'all? Why do people keep looking to him as a savior? They don't talk about the executives. They don't go to Bob Iger. They don't talk about Disney. They don't talk about the head of ESPN. They don't talk about any of these organizations. What do y'all think he is? He trying to feed his own family. He dealing with his own situation, trying to build his own network. He got his own thing going. His own thing. He trying to do his own thing. He trying to set himself up for the rest of his life. Why are y'all keep saying that somebody I don't know of anybody in the sports world that has more burden on their shoulders to carry a group of grown men than Stephen A. It's crazy, bro.
Stephen A., with all of his power, with all of his influence, is not a true decision maker at ESPN. That's not his job title, right? That's not in the repertoire of what he's asked to do. And we get it so many times, right? And I get it all the time. Why do you ride for him so much? Like, why don't you come for him when he says these things?
Well, you didn't ride for him in the beginning of the platform because you sure threw him under the bus.
And I said it on the show. I call him. I text him. I tell him when I think he's doing too much. And I have the conversations with him all the time. But when this company was treating me in a way that, at least in my opinion, was unfair as it pertains to what I'd accomplished, he was the first person to go, I want you.
I just got to say,
if they're going to take you off of
every time
this or that, don't worry about it. You'll get your TV time on my show. Thursday and Friday will be Ryan Clark's days.
Why? Why?
That will never be forgotten by me. I will be forever grateful for that. That in a space that I was sort of being told, at least being who you are is going to make you lose certain things because you aren't these people that we covet, these people that we're comfortable with, these people that we take pictures with and put our arms around and show the world that we support them. I'll do that for you. And the loyalty he's shown me, the love he's shown me, the true hurt and pain in his voice when he called me around 4 o'clock Central Time on Monday, I will never forget that. We are forever, forever friends.
You talking about 4 Central on Monday.
Imagine being able...
What happened on Monday? Because you got, bro, you got 5 mid-shift. Get fired halfway through that job.
Hey, Chad, crazy, right? Hey,
where'd the other box go?
Hey, see, Smokey was trying to build club houses. You know what I'm saying? He was still in boxes.
He was still in boxes.
Hey, my box disappeared. You know,
your box went away.
Hey, they was
Came
like,
back
damn.
Commercial. I said, then where else he go?
Yeah, so let me put this to bed. I wasn't laid off. I was fired. Right? They're using layoffs as a cover and a camouflage for what they already intended on doing. But there was no cause for it.
Why do he think that he's the main character? It's a lot of different people that was fired or laid off or whatever you want to frame it as that is on the unemployment line. A lot. A lot of different people are on the unemployment line. Why do they keep saying, why do he keep thinking that it's him? White people, Cam, a bunch of people got laid off from ESPN. Why is he the only person?
Right? So because there was no cause for it, you couldn't just fire me, so you had to wait to the layoff so you could camouflage it and veil it, right? But here's the other thing. If I was laid off, like everybody else, they came out on Tuesday. Mine came out on Friday. I get the call. I get a text from our showrunner that tells me to call my boss. I call my boss in the break, tells me they're letting me go. He said this is a very awkward call. This is a hard call. I could hear how hard it was for him. And if anybody was going to call me that was anywhere on the executive level, whether low or high, he's the person I wanted to, the way he's fought for me and rode for me. And he said, our friends, jokingly, at Outkick had the story, and we're going to leak it. Let me tell you why I know I was fired. Because during the season, after some of the Kyron Lacey news broke, there were people on our network along with me that said something about it. Both of those people apologized, as did I. I didn't want to, right? I was told I couldn't come to work if I didn't. And at that point, I said, well, I can't come to work tomorrow because I don't believe I did anything wrong. Some conversations happened, and we got to that point. And Outkick wrote an article about all the people that apologized, two very prominent faces at ESPN. And they praised them for who they were and how they brought this thing back around. And they bashed me, talked about how negative I was, and spoke about me in such a nasty way. And I sent an email at that time to Burke Magnus and Dave Roberts, who were working, because we were on an email talking about how we were going to handle it. And I was very poignant in saying, you have to watch who you listen to about me. There's certain people who want to paint me as a certain thing, certain people who want to devalue my voice, certain people who, no matter what I do, with all the great I've done, they've never mentioned that.
Let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. And Ryan Clark should know this just as well as anybody else that's in media, that's in TV, that's in content, that's on all of it. And I say this as respectfully as I can. A, you are not above the program. B, you are not above the program. And C, you are not above the program. Guess what? There are people that don't like you. And if you want to look at anybody as an example, then look at Stephen A. Smith. Look at all of them. Anybody. And it doesn't matter whether it's in sports. It don't matter if it's in politics. It don't matter if it's in content creation. It doesn't matter. Across the board. There are people that don't like you. I don't know anybody that is regularly on a screen of any capacity that has a 100% like rate. When you become a public figure, when you give your opinion, there are going to be people that don't like your opinion, and they are going to react to it and say things about it. Similarly to how I'm doing right now. You're not above the program, bro. And you should have known better that when you're on any ESPN or anybody else's time, you move according to what their program directors or bosses or executives or producers are saying that you need to move like. Now, on the pivot, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do on the pivot. But when you work for somebody else, and I need y'all to understand this, you don't get to make your own rules when you work at somebody else's job and they're the ones that's writing your paycheck. You don't get to do what you want to do. You know what? And I'm gonna give them some rope. I think it's athletes. I think athletes are used to being in a situation where they kind of do what they need to do or do what they want to do, depending on how well they're being received by their fan base or how successful they are in their respective field. They not used to this the same way that we used to it. Real talk. They not used to it. And so when somebody pushes back and say, nah, listen, we need to do things differently, they start running in the Victim Olympics. I was talking to Mimi in the Delta Lounge. We had a very, very insightful conversation. And the majority of the time that we was in the Delta Lounge, we probably sat there for about, I don't know, if I had to guess, 30 minutes or so. And so we laughed and we joked. And for about 5 to 7 minutes of it, I would say we spoke about business, right? And I was telling Mimi that I had an epiphany. I said, Mimi, I personally haven't even been operating from a business perspective the way that I'm supposed to. I haven't. I said, I've been playing, being friends with people and being cool and allowing for people to call me and having access to me. And so I don't really act like a boss to people that I work with in the content space. Now, for my other companies, it's way different. It's way different. But for people that know me and have my phone number, they call me, they do this and do that. And I said, you know what? I haven't been looking at things from a business perspective the way that I'm supposed to. And as a result, I think it's affected the product. I said, so I'm going to take a different approach going forward, and I'm going to have to start looking at things more from a business lens instead of looking at it from friends. That's the gist of what I was communicating. I said I can't look at it the same way that I used to, because you know, you let a lot of stuff play out the way that it plays out, however it was playing out, and you got to start looking at it from a business lens.
But in this case, there are 3 people who are very important to this network, who all did the same thing, who all responded in the same way, and only one of us was vilified, and only one of us was a black man. And so,
Hey, he about a program. Hey, he can't be criticized because he's a black man on the internet and they're not acknowledging the great things that he do. So what? Don't nobody acknowledge nothing. Talk football, bro.
Poignant, how purposeful is it to make sure that that's the exact same publication that gets the story that I'm going to be fired? Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to praise ESPN. They're going to pump ESPN up for getting rid of the person who stands up for the community. And they're going to say that these are all the reasons why I didn't belong on TV in the first place. So let's garner as much positive publicity as we can early before all of these people that you've seen come out on my behalf and say I was the best in the world at the job and I deserved better. 1, I didn't deserve to be laid off or fired. It ain't about money. 2, I didn't deserve to be handled.
Let's be clear. Let's be very, very clear. And I want all of my chasers, let me put on my bag chaser hat so I can help y'all to understand something. It's always about the money. I don't care who tells you that. I don't care who try to makes it seem like, you know what, no, this was about principle. This is about integrity. This is about this. This is about that. No. It's always, as far as the jobs that we do and perform and the content that we create, because none of us would be doing it for free. It's always about the money. Always about the money. Don't let nobody ever lie to you and tell you that it is not about the money. It is always about the money.
That way. So let's get ahead of it. And they were going to get ahead of it by leaking it to someone who they know hated me.
I would say, bro, how could this be that thought out when they just asked you if we could all, as a crew, come on First Take in August? That don't make no sense. When I saw it and how they did it and how outspoken you are about the community and how, like you're talking, some people don't agree with your stances and don't like that you were that open on their platforms. To me, it seemed like it was almost like buck breaking.
Slavery term.
You know, where you're the outspoken one, you're alpha.
To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the front, to the front, to the back, to the back. The race dance, the race hustle. Man, you work for ESPN, making millions of dollars, being able to use that visibility to create your own platform and getting all of the pivot popping and becoming a great. You know what? You made millions of dollars. It sounds like you got buck broke. How privileged these people sit on these platforms with their ignorant perspectives, and they sit here and talk about you sound like you was buck broke, and it's people every day that would kill to be in the positions that they in. Do you know how silly this is? You know how crazy it is? It sound like he fumbled. It sound like he fumbled. If we just gonna keep it 100. Listen, man, listen. You got the most privileged people that have fame. They've been promoted, money, give their opinion, say whatever they want to say, and they sitting here talking about, it sounded like you buck broke. You know how privileged that is? You know how ignorant that is? You know how silly it is for people that is observing this from the outside looking in, that will never make $1 million, that will never ever get the opportunity to give their opinion to where millions of people will be able to see it. You know how many people would kill to have a 12-year run on a national platform before social media was even as big as it is now? You know how many people would be thankful to be able to have the opportunity to do the things and get the opportunities that you had, and you talking about being buck broken? Because you got fired? People get fired every day, B. Black, white, every race in between. Women, men, and they indiscriminate. It's indiscriminate. They're not worried about. And if you notice, I'm not even saying anything about his takes on ESPN. I'm separating it. I'm purely reacting to what they are saying on this, and I'm not even talking about whether I agree or disagree with his takes on the platform.
Let's embarrass him so everybody else gets in line. So nobody else talks crazy to us anymore, goes through emails or whatever. Like, no, let's teach him a lesson. Let's embarrass him on national TV.
This is why y'all need good friends that gas you up to get you knocked out, to mess up your money. You got to have better friends that'll be honest with you instead of people that'll confirm your bias.
So that they all line up.
Yeah, I think that could be part of it, you know? Like, I also know that this is a private company. They get to make their decisions.
Right. It's a publicly traded company, all right? It's a publicly traded company. Disney, that owns ESPN, is a publicly traded company. You can go and buy into Disney right now. You can go on, literally, the market is open right now. While we doing this live stream, you can go and buy into Disney if you want to.
Based on what they want to make them on what they want to do. What I do know is they didn't take a vote. This wasn't about the majority, right? This wasn't about the people I work with day to day, because my phone don't say that. Production people who ain't worked with me in 5-6 years. Thank you for how you treated me.
They don't get it. They don't get it. They genuinely, he doesn't get it. And there's nobody, obviously, that's on this platform that will help him to understand and help him to get it. They don't. They are so disconnected from real life.
Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for showing up constantly. You know, Monday night. Thank you for always.
Thank you for doing your job.
If we didn't have any talent on a meeting, you were always there. You were always on time. You were always building things for the other people on that set. Thank you. And so when the people you work with cry for you, man, that means the world to me. When I get the messages of like the fact that I supported you, the fact that I was there for you means the world to you. Like it gave you the legs to stand up and be who you were on TV. Like that matters. This was a dictatorship. A person or a group of persons, very small group, they didn't poll the majority.
Poll?
They didn't ask that question. Because you asked that question, now you got to say, even though you told me just how important he was,
Yo, how many of y'all that have never been laid off or fired in your life, did they ever take a poll and do a straw poll to determine if you should still be there or not? Just curious.
I don't care. I don't care. I know how important you think he is, and you work with him every day. I don't care how important you think he is. I don't like him. People like me don't like him. They keep calling my phone. I don't want my phone to ring no more. Right? There's other things I'll defend. I'll defend talking about another executive. I'll defend that. I'll defend sabotage. I'll defend getting sued. I'll defend all those things. What I'm not going to defend is you standing up for Angel Reese and everybody being mad about the way you did it, or about what you said about, I'm not going to defend that. No. I'm not going to defend you standing on 10 toes for them all the time. It's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to take those calls. And that was the decision that was made. I believe that was the laws and why it was made.
Bro,
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Clark. Make sure you guys hit a... Jesus Christ. These people are so disconnected from real people on a daily basis. Nick says, man, you called this story like a prophet. Dude threw Stephen A. under like a semi. I was right. And Stephen A. needs to stop sticking his neck out for these people. And I'm being 100% real. Stephen A. needs to stop sticking his neck out for people. And when I decided to do my interview with him, as far as like our one-on-one, I'm going to tell him that. Man, please stop sticking your neck out for these people. They're not going to stick their neck out for you. Osriel says the DC meetup was incredible. I love seeing you all for the first or the 8th time in the chat. Wait for Dallas. Love you, Anton. I hope you told the queen I miss her. I did. Of course I did. Of course I did. Purple Haze in the building says news. Wife of OC Eric Bieniemy shot by son in the home. Send it to me. AR is back, says too much black fatigue. Ryan Clark was going on race derailments on air. He better read the room before it's too late. Yeah, he killed his own career. And then he getting mad at everybody else. Will the CNA says, I really dislike smart dumb ninjas. Five Brown in the building. Shout out to Five Brown. Five Brown says, problem with Ryan is that he values the opinions of other people who don't pay him to think. Perfect. Far more than he does those who sign his checks. You are absolutely right, Fa. Thomas Taylor says, did you see what Shady said about Clark on Speak Easy? I see what Shady said about Clark on Speak Easy. No, I didn't. What did he say about him? Oh, about Ryan Clark? I seen the part where he said that Stephen A. I seen Emmanuel Acho say that he could have No. I think I did see it. So give me a little bit of rope here, but he said, in a sense, that ESPN was going to be on regardless of whether he was going to be there or not, and that he doesn't necessarily move the needle. And I know that Emmanuel Acho was saying that Stephen A. should have took a pay cut in order to try to advocate to keep him there or something. I could be off, though. I could be off. Jude says pro-blackity blacks have been spoiled for so long, especially since Black Lives Matters. Things have now changed, and they don't know what to do. Shout out to my dog, Jude. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I want to pivot. Got to talk about the money. All right. Next couple articles, we're going to be talking about rent freezes in New York, student loans. Oh, Howard. I got to get to Howard first before I talk about anything. Our favorite HBCU, Howard in the building. Shout out to all of the people over there at HBCUs.
Hundreds of incoming Howard University students are searching for answers after they learned they were no longer enrolled.
Yeah, News 4 has learned more than 500 incoming freshmen were unenrolled recently after university says they missed a payment deadline earlier this month. Many students tell News 4 they were waiting on financial aid and scholarship money to post when they were blindsided by the news.
News 4's Dominique Moody has the latest tonight from Howard University.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for a lot of students. Despite that, some of them say that this is still their dream school. And while we have heard some success in one student's case, others say that's simply not the case.
It's been a long journey to the nation's capital from Alabama for Isabella Williams as she prepares for her first year at Howard University. The long trek has been equipped with some bumps in the road, from being unenrolled at the college to a $64,000 outstanding balance.
I'm sorry? I'm sorry? Give me a second. 64,952 Is that how much y'all tuition is for going to school? All right, hold on, y'all. Before we even get to this, let me rewind this. I have to hear stuff twice to make sure that I'm hearing it the way that I'm supposed to say it.
Others say that's simply not the case.
It's been a long journey to the nation's capital from Alabama for Isabella Williams as she prepares for her first year at Howard University.
You an incoming freshman and your bill is $65,000? Let me ask y'all a question for a second. How important is the Howard experience to you guys to where you're willing to pay $65,000 as an incoming freshman? Are y'all that rich? No. Seriously. I'm just trying to understand it, and I'm not criticizing. I'm trying to understand because I react to this stuff in real time. Are y'all getting money like that? Y'all able to pay $65,000 per year in tuition? $65,000 per year in tuition? So what is that? $130 every 2 years, $260 for 4 years? Is the HBCU experience that great? Let's have a conversation. Is the HBCU experience that great? And let me ask another question, because kids are stupid. Kids are stupid. Kids are going to go and they're going to make bad decisions. As she was riding in the car being taken by her mother, see the mom taking her in the car? As she's riding in the car being taken to Howard's campus by her mother, before we even get into the unenrollment, because I'm going to be honest with you, that might be the blessing. The blessing might be getting unenrolled, because when you first get to college, your first 2 years, that's why I said is the Howard experience worth $65 in a year, $65,000 in a year, because you're not even taking any unique classes. Your first 2 years, you're taking the regular prerequisites, general studies, humanities, trash. That's crazy. That is insane. Yo, I'm not going to cap. I make a lot of money. I make a lot. I work my butt off. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, my phone is on. I'm usually working somewhere in the realm during the week between 14 and 16 hours, maybe 17, 18 hours a day. I wouldn't pay $65,000 for a freshman year for my daughter. We are still making informed decisions on what she's doing. We went over her deadlines. They're going to issue out the bill on August 1st, and they got to be paid before the 15th unless you want to get a late fee. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Why would you pay $65,000 for a year, for a semester, as a freshman? As a freshman. So you can go and, let me be quiet.
Next year at Howard University, the long trek has been equipped with some bumps in the road, from being unenrolled at the college to a $64,000 outstanding balance on her student account.
I wasn't sure where I stood, and I knew that I had to move up here, and it's a 14-hour drive, and it was just a lot of uncertainty. It was a lot of angst.
Despite those unsettling feelings, Williams says she's experienced some progress.
Me being to get my classes reinstated, while there's still no direct communication from Howard University about re-enrollment, we think we're taking a step in the
T-Bunny, though, listen, y'all better start sending y'all it.
right direction. I can see some of my Howard University scholarships on my portal, but it still says that I owe the full tuition of $64,000.
Not everyone is having that same experience, like Marley Cofield, who says despite providing receipts that the university owed her money after receiving more aid and scholarships, she's still unenrolled.
So knowing that we have a setback and not knowing if I'm going to be re-enrolled in school, we don't know what I should do.
According to Howard University, the college sent out numerous communications between March and July, informing students of payment deadlines, including emails and providing info on financial aid and prep sessions. The university says first-time college students received individualized communications with earlier deadlines tied to securing enrollment, and that a July 10th payment deadline was part of those targeted instructions. But some students say they have scholarships that would cover their balances, but that money was not set to post until August. News 4 also asked Howard about social media claims that the university is now offering the housing assignments for unenrolled students to others. Howard denies that allegation, saying it's not offering additional admission from an admissions or enrollment wait list, and that there is a separate housing wait list that exists, and students on that list were contacted about housing availability. As for Williams, she says she's preparing for an internship with the university's football team and is still looking forward to being fully reinstated.
It's going to be different, but I'm excited for different. I've already seen what Howard University brings out of me, and then to be able to be on the campus and experience other students and experience the professors and the DC life in totality.
At Howard University, they say they are working with students to see if reinstatement is an option. Now, for the scholarship money that students had sent over, those will be refunded back to them. As for their tuition and housing down payment, that's non-refundable. In the district, Dominique Moody, News 4.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Thuman. Howard University just told hundreds of incoming freshmen that they are out, dropped from the program before they even arrived on campus. Now, this comes as there are questions surrounding the way that the university is handling scholarships and enforcing a tuition deadline. 7 News' Jade Lawson is at the school's campus to try and figure out what exactly is going on.
A lot of chaos and confusion on Howard University's campus just weeks before the school year starts. The university telling me that there are a lot of lessons learned in this, and they need to double down on resources.
I'm so sorry. I know. Our balance is practically zero.
Parents are consoling each other on Howard University's campus after learning their kids may not be able to attend their dream school in just a few weeks.
I came straight from the airport from Chicago.
So you're also from Chicago?
Yes, I came this morning.
Over 500 incoming freshmen at Howard received an email on July 21st stating the deadline to make your tuition payment or payment arrangement to secure enrollment has passed. As a result of this missed deadline, we can no longer hold your place in Howard University's incoming class.
She has been crying like 2 days nonstop. Like, as a parent, it's just so heartbroken. You don't even know what to do with this.
But many of the students and families have taken to social media and the campus, arguing that they've been reaching out to the administration to notify them that additional loans, scholarships, and external funding was coming.
Do better. You are supposed to be the example of Black excellence. The lack of empathy, the lack of communication, the poor administrative processes. This is not Black excellence.
Howard said in a statement they sent multiple emails regarding payment deadlines and next steps. 7 News sat down with the vice president of enrollment asking how this could happen.
She got to tuck that in, big dog. That's not a flattering hookup for what she got going in. She looked like a frog. She built like a frog. Anyways, it's just not a flattering hookup. And then she got on green. Oh, this is crazy. What is happening today? Y'all gotta learn how to hold it in. You gotta learn how to hold it in. Seriously. For real. You gotta hold it in, or you gotta wear clothes that'll get you over the hump while you're trying to figure it out. I'm not doing anything. Listen, I understand people have stressful days. Especially women. Women say they get bloated. You know, they say it's not that they big, it's that they on their period. Guys just take their L's. They just be like, you know what? Yeah, I got to do better. I'm figuring it out or whatever. But women, they just be, especially older women. Older women think that just because they put on dress clothes, that's enough. No, you got to put on clothes that is suitable for your body. And you got to hold that stuff. Hey Siri, how does one achieve such build? Never mind. No, Siri, I'm good. How does one achieve such a build? Oh, Lord, help me. Help me, Jesus, to be able to make it through and do this the right way. Gotta go get that Zimpy, baby. Yes, Thomas. Gotta get that Zimpy. You gotta do. Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Don't let nobody let nobody shame you into not getting that zimp. Gotta get that Zimpy. Whatever you gotta do, buy it, pay that, whatever. Gotta get that zim. You know what I'm saying? Can't be out here running around looking like a fraud.
What we have since realized is that there are a number of students who have indicated that they have actually submitted the information or attempted to satisfy our requirements. And so we shared a number of resources that they have available to them so that we can triage.
Howard also says students who reached out ahead of the July 10th deadline to notify the school of additional funding will be considered on a case-by-case basis.
We are in the process of reviewing all of the email messages that we are receiving with care to ensure that we are looking at records, the documentation that students are presenting, and if required, being able to enroll them or reinstate their classes.
The university tells me that at least 46 students have been reinstated so far.
You know, them type of women be married too, man. Let me see something. Can't tell. Be having good positions and married.
There are a number of students who have indicated that they have actually submitted the information or attempted to satisfy our requirements. And so we shared a number of resources that they have available to them so that we can triage.
Howard. Also says students who reached out ahead of the July 10th deadline to notify the school of additional funding will be considered on a case-by-case basis.
We are in the process of reviewing all of the email messages that we are receiving with care to ensure that we are looking at records, the documentation that students are presenting, and if required, being able to enroll them or reinstate their classes.
The university tells me that at least 46 students have been reinstated so far. Others are still waiting to hear. Classes are expected to begin on August 17th. From Northwest, Jade Lawson, 7 News.
The chat is crazy, bro. Chat is insane. I'm trying not to look at the chat because y'all out of control. But I will say this. Howard, every single year, Howard has issues. It never fails. It never, ever fails. It's always an issue. Leaks, dorms is tore up, begging Biden and them for more money. These HBCUs are in the news every single year for the wrong reasons. Every single time, bro. They do. It makes no sense why your system couldn't get it right and making sure that if people have scholarships that are coming on the books, or if they have student loans that's coming out on the books, or they have some form of a financial assistance, regardless of whether or not I agree with the fact that you're taking out too much money in student loans, then they need to do better. Why are these systems and why is the black community so jacked up? Real talk. How come everything is always broken? I'm not a bad influence, Jude. I'm a good influence. Yeah, they paying $65,000 a year. And then we'll sit here and whine about student loan payments. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Sent 2 emails. Okay, I got you, Purple Haze. Thank you, bro. Wise Sage Eli says, hello, Mr. Daniels. I submitted a form for coaching on your website. I'm ready to lock in. Shout out to Wise Sage. All right, I'm going to check it out. Chris Cunningham says, when I went to Morgan State, I paid $29,000, I think, for in-state student tuition back in 2009 when I went. Jesus, y'all paid a lot of money, bro. Riri, what up, Riri? Brooklyn says, ASU Arizona State University is now offering full bachelor's degrees on content on creator and influencer. Yeah. Should I have a separate conversation here? I could have one here tomorrow about that. I played that and I asked him that question on Room 9. And everybody, we kind of went back and forth about that. That was on Thursday. Saturday Night says, look like Bane put his hand on her shoulder. Do you feel in control? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. While we at it, hope I'm able to get my voice back one day. Just a little quick hit before we get into the next part of the show.
The number of borrowers defaulting on their student loans has jumped dramatically. As of March 2026, more than 9 million students are in default. Data shows more than 4.2 million borrowers defaulted between April 2025 and March of 2026. The most dramatic increase was in 2024 after a Biden-era freeze on loan payments ended after the pandemic. And another surge could be ahead after the Trump administration ended the SAVE plan, which impacts millions more borrowers. Let's bring in Danielle Douglas-Gabriel to explain what's happening. She's a national higher education reporter for the Washington Post. Danielle, good morning. Help us understand what is driving these numbers.
So thanks for having me. And, we're seeing this spike in defaults because all of the protections that were afforded borrowers because of the pandemic are completely over. As you mentioned, there was a three and a half year long pause on federal student loans. And then there was a 12-month grace period after that to kind of ease borrowers back into repayment.
So almost 5 years. Almost 5 years. You got no interest. And you had almost 5 years to pay off a no interest loan. And people are right back in the default. But you know what I seen? I seen a lot of people taking trips. I seen a lot of bottles in the air. I seen a lot of people going out and buying cars. I seen people doing all the things. All the things. No, college is not a scam. EMT. College is not a scam. College is another tool that you have in your tool shed to be able to leverage it depending on what you want to do with your life. Some people don't want to do that. Some people want to just be regular and work a regular job and hope for the best. Cool, that's your right. Other people, for example, want to go into a trade. Cool, that's your life. But college is not a scam. As a matter of fact, I think that we are severely underestimating our investment into college and ourselves. You know what the biggest flex is? You know what the biggest flex is, in my opinion? The biggest flex in the world for me. I know some people like to buy chains. Other people prefer to show it off in their cars. Some people like to show it off in tricking and making sure that they let the ladies know what's happening in the streets and that they got the money. Right? We do what we spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every single year on nothing. And we do it and we get the big cars and we get all of that. And you know what I see happening, Eric D? When somebody's kid is ready to go to school, they got to take out student loans. We go to Chris Brown's concert, we go to Usher concert, and then we go to the Both They concert together. We have on the latest Chanel, and we have on the latest Gucci. Y'all talking about all these bags that y'all getting and stuff. When I went out to the DC Mall, the Louis store was full. It was full. It was full. With the same people that'll sit there and tell you that they student loans is in default. It was full. Then your kid will come up, ain't got a 529 save plan. People sitting here arguing with me about the Trump for Kids college thing, and he giving you a free $1,000 to invest in your own kids' education. We've been at it for all of these years. And people's kids is going to school and having to take out student loans. You know what my biggest flex is? That my daughter don't have to take out student loans to go to school. As a man, I'm going to have a different type of conversation because I'm going to break down the whole student loan situation, but I'm going to have a different type of conversation. As a man, your number one priority as a man is to be a good steward and to make sure that you leave an inheritance and you invest in your kids because they did not ask to be here. We got to start doing better. Forget the women. Forget the hoes. We've been having a lot of conversation about relationships and who shouldn't be in a relationship and if a man should be 50-50 and all of this stuff. Pay your kids college tuition. We wouldn't be having a conversation about the importance of education if we were invested in education. Before I bought the lamb, my daughter's college tuition was paid for. Before I bought the lamb, my daughter has a house fully paid for. Before I bought the lamb, my daughter has cars fully paid for. Before I bought the lamb, my daughter has a portfolio that is giving her a return on her investment before she ever turned 18. The reason why I can talk my talk is because my family is taken care of. So now I can break out and do what I want to do because I made the sacrifice to ensure that everybody else is taken care of. And it's not just me. I know some other good guys that's out here making sure that everybody is taken care of before they even buy anything for themselves. They making the adjustment. I keep seeing these dudes with chains, but they got kids. And then when they die, they ain't got no insurance, no life insurance, and you got to do a fish fry for them. Y'all driving all of these cars. You got the Hellcat, the jailbreak Hellcat. You got the Demon 170. You got all of this stuff, but ain't nobody got no money for the kids to go to school. How we ain't got no money for the kids to go to school? So the chain was important to impress the hoes, but the education is not important in order to impress your daughter and your sons. The chain is important to impress the hoes, but the education isn't. Think about what we saying, y'all. We'll sit here and say that college is a scam, but your moissanite chain ain't. College is a scam, but you buying bottles in the club at an exorbitant price ain't. College is a scam, but you tricking off on the hoes and flying back and forth to Thailand and the Dominican Republic ain't. College is a scam, so higher education. We're not going to invest in our kids. We're not going to invest in ourselves. But we'll sit here and be wearing every single brand, have on $1,000 jeans, $1,500 shoes, flying people in and out because you want some box, and we sitting here talking about college is a scam for our children. Can't wait to kick a kid out so we can go and live our lives. If you got a car, anything other than something used, but your kid got student loan debt, you failed, in my opinion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have all of these different things, but your kid's college tuition is not invested in and paid for, you failed. Do better. You failed. Do better. Instead of sitting here going back and forth promising these girls, yeah, baby, I can make you a stay-at-home girlfriend or whatever it is that y'all promising these chicks. You should be saying, no, listen, that may come later, but we got to make sure that our kid or kids, if we decide to have any, is taken care of first. That's my commitment to you, is that the person that you love the most is going to be taken care of. I think that that's the biggest flex in the world. Don't talk to me about nothing if your kids is messed up and jammed up financially. You got kids out in the street and they jammed up financially? How is that? How y'all comfortable taking these chicks out and your daughter and your son is in a jam, bro? I'm not spending no money on no chick before my kid is taken care of, before the tuition. They should be able to come to you and say, here you go, Dad. And you should say, okay, cool, baby. I'm going to take care of this afternoon. Pay it. Pay it. The standards from yesteryear, and stop comparing me to the old school people because I don't even like boomers, most of them. I think that they fail. Your kid should be able to come to you and say, here, Dad, I'm not even going to open this. They shouldn't even know how much tuition costs, except for to give you praise for praying it. Some of y'all want a gift on Father's Day, but all you giving is student loan debt. You ain't taught them nothing. You ain't gave them no game. You ain't gave them no life understanding and circumstances. You ain't did none of this. But she going to be the first person to go off to college and get a degree. That ain't going to be worth two dead flies because the money that she going to make as a result of it is going to all go towards interest to the bank. That's not a gift. That's a burden. That's like buying somebody a car that they got to pay for at a high interest rate. You ever seen somebody on Instagram? He bought me a car, got the keys. No, he gave you a bill, baby. He gave you a bill. I'd rather live in a $200,000 house that's paid off and have my kid have a great education that's paid off than live in a $1 million house and have them have student loans. We all thinking backwards, and that's why we hit as a society. He gave you a bill. Lou, he gave me my new car. But you got to pay the car note, though. That's not a gift. That's a bill. When I say I got my chick a crib, when I say I got my daughter a crib, it come with a cleaner. It comes with the cleaner. Cleaner gonna come every Tuesday. Make sure that they assist y'all. Come with a cleaner. Come with a new roof. No, I'm not going to give you a bill. I'm not going to give you a burden. I'm not going to give you nothing that's going to stress you out. I'm going to give you something that's going to help you be better as a person and successful later on in your life. 9 million people are defaulting on student loans. That's called failure. No. I'm not telling you got to buy them a home. But don't kick them out and don't saddle them with debt and give them the tools that they need to be successful. I'm not telling you that I'm giving you an example of what I did before I did anything for myself is my point. Before I started focusing on what's best for Anton, I focused on what's best for the people that depend on me the most is what I'm trying to convey to you. It's not that you have to give them a house. It's more about you have to enable them instead of putting them on the back burner to where they got to dig themselves out of a hole is what I'm saying. The house is an example that I didn't go and build my big house until I made sure that everybody else was taken care of first, is what I'm saying. And no, I'm not limiting you to what you can do for your child. I'm saying that the minimum we can give our kids that didn't ask to be here is the best life possible. But y'all are hurting them. And y'all think that just because you get these vanity degrees at an interest rate, at a total cost once they pay off their student loans of $500,000, that somehow you was a good parent. You're not. You were supposed to shepherd them through life and enable them to be successful. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody that got kids about how they doing it big unless you're taking care of your kids in the same way or better. Nobody. There's no reason that we should grow up, even if you was at a disposition. You don't put that on somebody else. There's no reason that our children shouldn't be better off than us. Debt, we not giving nobody else no more debt. We done with that. We're not giving anybody else debt as a gift.
The trouble is, a lot of people didn't know when that ended. I spoke to so many borrowers who were like, I didn't know payments went fully back into effect. And a lot of people were missing payments. You saw a lot of credit scores dropping. Mm-hmm. But you also have a lot of folks now who simply cannot afford their monthly payment as the cost of living has increased. So there are folks who are struggling. There are people who don't really know what to do. And so we're seeing that in the numbers here.
So I guess, Danielle, since the SAFE plan went away and those monthly payments went away, they seem to have skyrocketed for some people. Help our viewers understand how that jump happened, why the jump happened.
Somebody said that's for rich folks. Education is for rich folks. You have 18 years to basically allow for the money to compound and to ensure that they will be able to go to college, and that's for rich folks. That's not a rich person's thing. You don't have to be rich to not saddle your kid with student loans.
So SAVE was by far the most generous repayment plan that was based on your earnings, right? Why it was so generous is because
you can't
it
realize
excluded more of your earnings in the calculations that came up with your monthly payment plan. Now, with that loan payment program gone, the remaining ones certainly can be helpful, but they're not going to be as low a monthly payment as what you saw in SAVE. So there are a lot of people now who are switching to other plans and seeing sometimes a $100, $200 increase in their monthly bill, sometimes double, depending on how much they owe. And so they're having a really hard time trying to figure out how they're going to make those payments.
It's unfortunate. It really is. And 9 million people should not be falling behind on student loans. That's insane, bro. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I remember my daughter went, and as soon as she turned 18, the first thing that she did was, or one of the things that she did was, I had her open up her own bank accounts because she was basically using accounts that I had created for her, and she would just take the debit card, but it was in my name. And let me tell you the importance of a good father, a good parent, a good mother, good parents, two-parent households. Everything that she did, right? Because she actually went into the branch. I made her go into the branch and open it up herself because I wanted her to get the experience. So she's calling me the whole time. Dad, they said this. Dad, these are the type of checking accounts. Dad, these are this. Dad, these are this, right? And Kareem, you busy?
What up? No, I'm getting ready to go.
All right. Quick questions. Few questions for you. When I sent you to the bank to open up your first bank account, do you remember it?
Yeah.
When you was calling me, what were some of the questions you was asking me, if you can remember?
Do I need to open up a savings too? That was one.
Mm-hmm. What about what they was asking you to do?
Oh, to open up my own bank account, or no, to open up my own credit card.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was asking me if I should, or it was basically influencing me to do it because I was a college student, and they wanted me to like build up my credit already.
Yep. And what did you do?
I didn't do it.
Why?
Because it's not smart right now, and I don't have anything to pay for.
Who told you? Who told you that?
My dad.
And then what did I do for you?
You put me as an authorized user on yours.
And what do you buy everything with?
That card.
How much pressure? How hard was he trying to pressure you to open up a card?
A lot. Like, I almost did it, actually.
And then you did what? You called me, right?
Yep.
And I told you no.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, bye. They gonna pressure your kids. They gonna be all over them. They gonna be trying to get them to do stuff because it's in the best interest of the bank for them to give them debt. I got you, Sonny. Yep. And I didn't anticipate them doing that, but I had already gave her the lessons before, and I was like, yeah, we don't do this. Yeah, that's not smart. Yeah, this is not. So I've been saying this, or drilling it down into her all her life, right? So I only sent her to go and open up the bank account. The banker was like, all right, so now that we got the checking account off and your dad is off the phone, do you want to open up a credit card? And so she like, what's the benefits of a credit card? Sell me on it. And they like, yeah, you can build your credit profile and all of this or whatever. And she was like, let me call my dad first. And they like, you don't need to do that. I mean, you can do this on your own. You grown. You 18 now, right? She's like, nah, let me call my dad. Called me on the phone. And she put me on speaker. And I said, nah, we not doing that. Well, don't you want her to have an opportunity? I said, we got it taken care of. I didn't have to explain it to him. I said, we got it taken care of. Don't worry about it. Her card was already in the mail as an authorized user. And you telling it, right? Darius, look, unfortunately, he is right. We had numbers to make when I was banking. Your kid, you, and the people around you are a number. You are not a person, no matter what they tell you. This is why it is important for you to have strong parents in your life. This is important. Why you need to shepherd your children. This is important. Why you need to make sure and educate yourself so that you can then educate them in the process instead of leaving them out there to then suffer on their own. Let me just say this to y'all, all right? They already gonna get their butts kicked. They already gonna get their butt kicked. You know why? Because that's life. Life is gonna kick butt. Life is going to kick butt in general. You're going to have some good times. You're going to have some bad times. You're going to get some bad, you know what I'm saying, news. You're going to get some good news. People going to die. Life is going to life. It's going to life already. The last thing you need is for life to be lifing out of ignorance because we don't make smart decisions or we're making decisions that's not conducive for our children. You already gonna get your L's. That's just the way that it is. It rains on the just and the unjust. That's the word of God. It is what it is. You're gonna take your L's and you're gonna get some dubs. But why you want to compound it? Why you want to make it harder? Haven't we learned from our mistakes of leaving out too early and leaving our parents home? Haven't we made our mistakes and learned from financing and taking this high interest rate just because it was a shiny object? We are supposed to be pressing these same lessons because they're going to get the pressure the same way that you are. But then what you drill down into them when they're young, it will keep them for the rest of their life. So even if she wanted to, and initially she did, it came back to her and she said, hold on. Let me call my dad. Let me call my dad. You know why? She ain't got no job to pay for it anyway. She ain't got no job. All her money come from daddy. I told her, you can't even get no job. So you can't even think about paying nothing anyway. You ain't mature enough yet. Your brain ain't even fully developed. You still have a child's mind. As mature as you are, you still a child to me because you still have a child's mind, which means that I have to cover you. I'm going to be covering you for the rest of my life and afterwards. I seen to it. You don't have no ability to go, but y'all going to let y'all kids go off to these campuses? And I said it years ago, and people say, you ain't going to be able to tell her what to do. You ain't going to be able to stop her from being able to pick what college she want to go to. I said, oh, yes, I am. That's what parents do. We run benevolent dictatorships. Oh, yes, I am. I'm 100% going to be able to do it. There is not a decision that goes on in her life without me making it. There is not a decision that goes on in their lives without you supposed to have some say-so in that. And if you don't have it, then you didn't raise them right. Somebody said, don't you think that can hurt her as an adult? You mean how, like it helped y'all as y'all got out there and got y'all butts kicked? Then you got all of that student loan debt? Listen. Our goal should be to create a whole bunch of Nepo babies. Our goal should be to create a whole bunch of Nepo babies. I find it very interesting how people would be willing to question doing things for our children when we have so many questions about single parents households. We don't question the kids and the mother when they kids is on the way to jail. We don't question the parents that's absent. We just give them praise. We don't say anything when kids get pregnant too early. We don't say anything when people go and get high interest loans. You have the rest of your life to be an adult. Why are you in a rush to push these kids out here to do stuff that's not good for them and it didn't even benefit you? Think about what you're saying. Their brains isn't, we got it wrong. Our parents didn't know no better. And because they was so engulfed with the idea, because they was obsessed, they never got to go to college and they just went straight into the factory. They pushed you out the door and said, well, you're going to be the first college graduate. Well, they didn't know that it came with student loans. They didn't know that you was going to be out there getting your butt kicked. They didn't know that you was going to be slutting it out on campus. They didn't know that they needed to do more because they didn't know. They got it wrong. There's some things from the generations before us that got it wrong. They didn't get it right. They may have got this thing right. They may have gotten this thing right. And they think they may have gotten this thing right. But we know better. We know better now. And guess one of the learned lessons? Our brains aren't developed until we in our mid-20s. We still do have some things that we got to figure out. We know that most guys don't even start to get their life together until they're 30. So if we know this information, then why are we not making adjustments to say, I don't care what the law says, you're still my child. You're still my child. So guess what? These first 25, 30 years, I'm going to cover you and make sure that you're good. I'm going to pay attention to what you got going on. And I'm going to still be there for you even after that. But you got the rest of your life to be an adult. Think about it. You have the next 60, 70 years to be an adult. What are you in a rush for? We was in a rush to do nothing. We was in a rush to go and get a bunch of bills. We was in a rush to go and get our heart broke. We was in a rush to go. That don't make you better. That make you broken and bitter. Not better, but broken and bitter. That's what you got. Bitterness and broken. So now that we know better and we able to use our lives as an example and look at the people before us and the people before us and the people before us, okay, so how do we prevent pregnancy? How do we prevent them from getting in this trouble? How do we prevent debt? How do we prevent heartbrokenness? How do we cover them? How do we do this? How do we do this? How do we give them more community? How do we give them more structure? How do we help them practice group economics? How do we give them more spirituality? How do we give them more growth? How do we give them more protection? How do we ensure that they don't die? How do we ensure this? How do we ensure that? How do we ensure they don't get stranded? How do we ensure they don't get trafficked? How do we ensure that they don't get easily impressed by mother effers that dangle this little carrot in front of them and say, hey, baby girl, next thing you know, they busting it down for nothing? How do they not become the next $40 hoes? How do they not become the next $150 hoes? How do they not become the next Young Miamis? How do they not become the next Daphne Joys and getting pissed on? They not ready. We wasn't ready. Maybe you as an individual, but collectively, we were not ready. So you do better. You make adjustments. Keep them in the house longer. Spend more time with them. Allow for them to shadow you and see what you do for a living. Don't let them get credit cards. They got their whole life to get credit cards. Then y'all going to be calling some credit repair scam and they're going to finesse you out of that. Let them stay in school a little longer. What's the worst that can happen outside of them being a late bloomer? Guess what? You know what else I realized? Being a late bloomer was actually just on time. Because the ones that bloomed a little too early is deflowered. Being a late bloomer, what we thought was a late bloomer, is actually the time that we were supposed to arrive at the time that we were supposed to get there. And not a minute sooner. We wasn't late. We was on time. But everybody want to push you out the door to make you be too grown and too fast, too quick. No, just chill out. It'll be all right. And you may not even like the fact that I'm slowing you down. But it's all right. We slow way down so we can run way faster. We slow way down so that we can go way faster. That's the flex. That's the flex. And so enough of this dusty mentality. Being a bag chaser is more than just getting money. It's about having a rich person's mentality. And to be rich is to be rich in spirit. It's to be rich in God. It's to be rich in good character. It's to be rich in great morals. It's to be have a rich family. As far as your richness and how it is that you shepherd and take care of your kids. It's to be rich in community. It's the reason why we actually do meetups inside of the Patreon. Is because we ain't just no online community. We real life chasers and we love each other. And you know what else we was doing? You know what else was happening during the Patreon meetup? Everybody was making sure all of the women got home safely. No cap. Wasn't a woman that could walk out that door by herself. A lot of people don't even realize it because that's just what we do. Had to make sure that they got back to their hotels. Walk them to the door. Okay, you cool? You great? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and catch my Uber and I'm going to head out. Hey, is all of the girls safe? You walking over there with her? Okay, I'm going to walk over there with her. Every single woman got back to the place that they came from whole, one piece, no problems. We didn't even let them go outside by themselves. We just all stood around and just kicked it, slow motion, chilling. Wasn't nobody tripping. Everybody had a good time, and everybody got back home safely. Stayed grouped in pairs, protecting each other, because that's what we do. I'll tell you something else, and a lot of people don't even know this. Some people was like, yo, Time, man, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. I spent this to get here because I just had to be around the chasers. I dug in my own pocket and I gave them their money back. The event was free, but they traveled from out of town, some of them, to come and get there. And so they was like, yo, I just stepped out. And I said, all right, listen, let me give you what I got. And I gave them the money in my pocket. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Because we love each other in real life. We love each other in real life. That's what being a chaser means. Some of your own people, you can't even call your homeboy. You can't call your brother and sister. You can't call your brother and sister and get $50 out of them. Now tell me who the people are that you're supposed to be around. You can't even call your brother and sister and ask them to borrow $50 without them questioning what you're going to do with it. By the time I got home on Saturday night/Sunday morning, the only thing I had on me was tip money for the Uber driver and for the people to be able to get back and forth to the airport. By the time I got back to my hotel, I went to the ATM and I got out a bunch of money. I got out like $1,000. By the time I got back to my hotel, I didn't have no money left. And it wasn't because I was spending it on drinks. It was because I was spending it on making sure that the people were straight. Because we love each other in real life. It was a good Monday show, y'all. It was a good Monday show, y'all. Listen, we not only going to have a great day, we going to have a great week, and we going to have a great rest of the year. We're going to have an incredible rest of the year. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through things. It don't mean that things ain't going to happen that disappoint you, but we are going to have an incredible rest of the year. TS, what up, TS says, you like Jim Jones' Religion song? I don't remember it. I can't think about it right off the top of my head. Kobe Fitness says, Ton, I cleared $250 a year by going to a technical community college to learn to tear apart aircraft and put it back together. Let me get my dog, Kobe, a round of applause. Shout out to you, bro. And keep getting your bags and keep running it up. Kieran Bird says, man, I missed the meetup, but I wanted to say thank you and I'm proud of you, Anton. Listen, Dallas, September, mark it off on y'all calendars. Miss Crotty Shetty says, AD, this is for you, being such a great husband, father, and leader in the shining example. Man, let me say I appreciate you, Crotty. I really do appreciate you. Thank you, my love. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, AD, I'm looking for a 2018 911 GT2 RS. It's a phenomenal car. I would rather go with the Turbo S, but that's just me. You had me cracking up regarding the Frog Lady. Shout out to my dog, All Natural. And Chad from Moore says, what up, AD? Watching your show with my 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, Josh, Leo, and Leo. They wanted to say, what up, 6'7"? What up, Josh? What up, Leo? What up, Leo? Hey, man, shout out to Chad from Morris. I love y'all. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Hopefully in the future, y'all become bag chasers. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We in there like swimwear. Let's get it.